Hello and welcome everybody to our English broadcast coverage here of MGA's Wild Rift Copa America. We have on your screens, first things first, the Latin America South and Brazil lower brackets that we will be journeying through today. As you can see on your screens, we have a lot of matchups left. These are still best of ones, but unlike the upper bracket matches we watched last weekend, this time everything is on the line because if a team loses a single game on their journey to the finals here, they are out of the tournament and therefore out of the running for the $2,500 split between the two divisions here. The first match we're going to be watching is a VIVO KEYD versus Los Rejuntados, which should be a pretty good matchup. We got to see, I believe, VIVO KEYD in the upper bracket already, if I'm not mistaken. I think we may have actually seen both these teams once. I have to forgive my memory on that. But should be a pretty good matchup here. We'll have a lot in store for you today. Next weekend, we will have the finals of both the lower bracket and the upper bracket, and then, of course, the finals for each division. So we'll go through each of those, and those do change to best of three series as well. So we'll be catching all of those next Saturday and next Sunday, still at the standard time, 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern time. Should be a lot of good matchups here as we'll jump back to our desk here. I am, of course, Vesper, providing play-by-play commentary and color commentary today. Just a lot of general commentary. I will be joined once again by Moose, who you may have seen yesterday. Next weekend, I believe, on Saturday, but we'll have more updates for you in the coming week and announcements prior to the events there. But in the meantime, we can dive into some of the meta picks we're expecting to see. Just a brief update here right now. We are waiting just a couple of minutes here on that matchup for Los Rejuntados versus VIVO KEYD. So we'll be jumping into draft after that delay right now, just waiting on some players to arrive, get things sorted out. But should not be too far away. But in the meantime, as I said, I'd love to dive into some of the meta picks I think we can expect to see. If you have already watched some or all of the tournament thus far, you'll have a decent idea of what I think we might see, as I think we've seen particularly divided up by each division, where you see Latin America South and Brazil on the one hand, and then North America and Latin America North kind of developing their own individual metas as far as what they'd like to do. Something we saw a lot in North America and Latin America North was the Seraphine coming through. A lot of times we'd see these very standard front-to-back comps. You'd see typically a Kaisa, optionally maybe subbed out for an Ezreal, and you go with the Seraphine in the mid lane there. And then you pick up something like a Braum, so you have this really great front-to-back, because Braum, he's got the stand behind me, he's got the unbreakable. Seraphine basically is just perfectly built for the front-to-back with the Encore ultimate passing through allies, extending the range of that. So that was something we saw very frequently. I think another champ, and I'm just reminded of this because we had the Odyssey theme playing. Of course, Odyssey Jinx is a skin that I think Jinx is actually a fair pick for that kind of playstyle as well. She's not a champion we've seen turn up too often in the tournament thus far, but it's something to consider for sure. So that's something that we saw a lot from North America and Latin America North previously, but it's always worth considering how much these teams are watching some of the matches, and whether it's scrims or just, playing solo queue, new stuff turning up, testing things out, whether these metas continue to evolve. What I was going to say is that when we watched the some of the other matches, the Latin America South and Brazil matches, a lot of times we'd see some different picks coming through. From yesterday, though, we did even see an evolution where within the North America and Latin America North division, we would see a lot of these really big team fight ultimates and wombo combos come through. That's something we saw a lot of yesterday coming through. It's something that's appeared throughout the tournament, but it seems like teams kind of, to have the most success that we've seen thus far, they really have to all in on a kind of specific style, specific win condition, a specific way to approach these matches. So sounds like we do have some bans coming through. I'm just told by our producer here that Olaf, Gragas, Braum, and Ziggs have all been banned away. So I think 3 of those, not too much of a surprise. Olaf has been seeing a lot of prevalence, so I don't think the ban is a huge surprise either, but it is interesting because Olaf has gotten through the ban phase on just about every game we've watched in either division. So maybe something that's strong, but teams can feel they can deal with it. A traditional counter to the Olaf is generally considered the Jarvan, but we saw yesterday that that didn't really turn out to be the case. If the Olaf is strong enough, he can just kill the Jarvan inside the Cataclysm. The idea behind the counter, if you're not aware, of course, is that the Cataclysm will lock the Olaf in there. So even if has popped the Ragnarok, he's immune to crowd control, he cannot escape the Cataclysm. But if you just kill the Jarvan and then walk out, well, there's one kill for you already. And considering the Jarvan's typically in the jungle, that generally does mean that you're going to have a pretty difficult time securing any objectives. But as we see, we're jumping now into the pick ban phase already. Have a number of picks coming through. So the Seraphine did come through, not too much of a surprise here. Looks like Aurelion Sol is a very interesting pick. So Aurelion Sol is something that I think can be one of the harder champions to execute on skill-wise, but has been pretty strong in the meta for a while now, and something that, as long as your mid laner is comfortable playing it, it can be a really nice pocket pick to have. Happy to see the Lucian here, and really interesting to see some of the priority develop on Leona here. So Leona coming through very early on in the draft. And okay, so my mistake here. So the Seraphine is going to be pivoted there to support. I kind of fooled myself with that build up about the Seraphine mid, but it is going to be the Seraphine support paired with the Kai'Sa there up against Lucian Leona. So that could be an interesting one to watch, of course, because traditionally when you look at something like a Kai'Sa Seraphine, having the range advantage with the range support can help you get a lot of priority in lane. The difficulty comes with the all-in potential, and Lucian Leona are perfect at that. It's a very brutal combo. I would say it's not necessarily quite as effective as Lucian Braum, just because the synergy is not quite there. The way Lucian, with the Lightslinger passive, he has those double shots. He can really easily stack up the Braum stun, and the Braum Q is already a slow. So you build that into the stun, and depending on what kind of runes and masteries you're taking, it can stack up the damage really quickly. As we will be loading into the Rift for game number 1 here between Los Remontados and VIVO KEYD. Should be a fun one here. I'm definitely eager to see how this front to back will work for VIVO KEYD, because when I look at something like the Fiora and the Aurelion Sol, it doesn't necessarily scream front to back for me. When I see Kai'Sa and Seraphine, I think perhaps. So this looks to me more like they either want to go for some kind of dive, but especially early on they want to play to these side lanes, because when you look at both Fiora, so Fiora is traditionally going to want to be in the side lane, and then Aurelion Sol is so good at joining that as well. And Kai'Sa always is going to be good. I mean, I do like the Kai'Sa in the front to back, but with the Killer Instinct able to join on any kind of crowd control, or just proccing the Plasma herself, hitting, you know, a long range shot, she's certainly able to join these kind of fights from a distance, which can be really nice, especially if things get chaotic, as some of our games have gotten. It can be nice to be able to join from that long distance and not have to worry about, you know, if you're playing something like, a Varus or something that has to walk all the way over. We haven't seen a lot of Varus, but these immobile AD carries that have no way to join the fight, it can be problematic because you're losing out on DPS for every second you're not in that fight. But we can see the Akali top here for Narf, I'm assuming would be the pronunciation there. Having a pretty rough time already early on. A lot of vitals being procced here by Huya. And already a gank coming in mid lane here. Last, forced to flash away. Stun's going to find him. And first blood going over to VIVO KEYD. Very nice early start for them. Less than just barely after a minute, rather, into the game. Already getting both summoners out of Corki. Yeah, and I think, I'm not sure why Last was kind of looking over towards that river brush, but he was, and he was completely found out there by 0-8. So uncertain exactly what he was doing there, but unfortunately gets punished for it. And now Scuttle Crab's going to be picked up by 0-8, and he should head top and get the double scuttle here as well, which is really bad news for Kennedy here in the jungle. Actually, they're looking for a repeat gank here. That's no summoners on the Corki. Now, smart by Last here. He does want to help secure the scuttle, but I think 0-8 does have Smite's going to go in, and let's see if he did steal that one or not. He did, actually, so he gets the double scuttle. So very smart play by 0-8 there. He steals the scuttle away. 0 punish as well. Yeah, just waits in the bush here, as we see on the replay. smart. I was expecting him to go in on last, but in hindsight, I think that would have been a bad move because the turn from the hook shot is, hold on, we have action here, diving back under the turret is KEYD. A little bit more damage. The aftershock is able to keep him alive for the time being. One more shot would take him down, and it does. Flash away keeps LWK alive. There's the heal. The exhaust is down onto Shelby, and unfortunately, that is going to be a double kill. The bot lane of Los Reyentados goes down here. The VIVO KEYD are striking hard in mid and bot, only 2.5 minutes into this one. You can see on the replay here, nicely dodged, honestly, by KEYD. He dodges the root. It's just unfortunate that this is a 4v2 for them. They're just able to juggle the aggro really effectively. I think smart play by LWX to pick that one up. Maybe Mouse God could have been able to pick up the kill, and okay. Kennedy wound up on top side here, got ignited, and is down to about 1 HP, and it's actually sticking around. Okay, just waiting for Narf to show up here. Wow, yeah, so Huya, the only one on his team not to take part in... oh, no, he did actually get a kill. So he actually did kill Narf there at some point and nearly killed Kennedy. I was about to say that Fiora the only one not taking part in the action here, but has been really exerting a lot of pressure that we've seen every time we look up there. I mean, the Fiora is absolutely poking Narf out of lane, and you can see him even fighting off the jungler. I'm curious how there was even a 1v2 that he got that kill, possibly. But certainly, shout out to Huya here on the Fiora. Wow. Let's get traded back on pretty effectively. Ultimate is available, perfect execution here, but don't think... yeah, not enough damage there for him to go there on Huya, and I think that would have been a punish as well. Look at the itemization. And the flash follow. Now Huya looking for where gets the flash out of the Akali. Even got the barrier as well. I don't think he needed the barrier, but maybe was just anticipating diving for that. Here we go. The Encore comes through. That's going to find 3 Killer Instinct in. The Cyclone finds 2. Now Shelby is in full routine. It's going to go down. Last one, Hextech Ultimatum comes through from Kennedy, trying to trade back 108's invisible, though. He's going to be stunned and taken down by Mouse God. Nice work there again by VIVO KEYD, who are in amazing position at this point in the game. Will pick up this Mountain Drake, and they have really just won every fight at every turn. KEYD looking great. Nice steal attempt there by Last, and oh, Kodaki was looking for potentially a cheeky kill there. Very aggressively positioning on the Kaisa. I'd like to see it. They've got a big advantage. They can do that for sure. Here we have a replay here. Yeah, honestly, everything. This time the root does find the Lucian. That's one of the things with the Relentless Pursuit. You're looking to try to dodge, but there's just so many things to dodge. It can be so hard. It's a long cooldown. And here we have potentially a kill. A lot of damage. Ignite is going to take down Narf. Looking for more, and the riposte is perfect to dodge the damage and stop the hook shot there. Now Kennedy getting traded back. Should go down here as well. Huya looking for one more. No, okay. Kennedy is going to get out, but I'm curious if this is what happened earlier on in the game where Huya potentially outplayed 1v2. But for sure, this time we get to see it. Showing some absolutely stupendous mastery of the Fiora there in the top lane, able to play that one perfectly. I thought maybe the perfect execution could turn, but no. And even that turret going down the top side, very bad news for Los Reyentados. They're down about 8,000 gold, about 5.5 minutes into this game, and oh man. Hopefully they don't find Kennedy at this blue buff. They will not. 08 though is going to find KEYD, and so much damage at this point. Has to flash away. Killer Instinct is there. I don't think Kodaki wants to take that though. And now the turn, kind of an interesting follow there by KEYD. Just dives in and dies, unfortunately. Kodaki picked that one up. Now Narf looking, has perfect execution, but does not hit the shuriken flip. And now looking for the root there. No mana here on Last. Encore is going to find one. It's just the Lucian. Shelby burns the barrier, burns the flash, getting away. Last almost falls. Looking for the turn. They got to be careful. The turret has stacked up a lot of damage there. VIVO KEYD maybe overstepping a bit, nearly finding 1 or 2 kills even so. Now Kennedy looking. And wow, you can just see the ranged advantage in the CC coming through. KEYD trying to turn this one. A lot of low health bars, but here comes Huya finally joining the fight. 2 members dead, 3 kills already going over. That is a rampage for Kodaki. And now Narf, even with the perfect execution, I don't think he's going to be able to find anything. He does get away with the help of the barrier and the flash and the ultimate. Not able to get a kill there. You have to think as the Akali, he really wanted to get that double kill with the 2 low health bars, but was not able to find it. We see here, yeah, so KEYD just walks right in, smartly flashes away, and everything looks like, okay, we're fine, but He hits the ultimate on Kodaki and I think was just feeling himself, but he had the Kai'Sa passive stacked up on him. That's just really, really bad news, unfortunately, for Kiwi. Now we're seeing, yeah, if that Shuriken flip hits on Kodaki, maybe they look for something, but Last having no mana is just does not feel great, unfortunately. And I'm getting some okay, here we go. Cool. Was not sure if that was on my end or not, but looks like we are all back. We're all good. Sweet. So Infernal Drake going to be next. Drake on the table. A brief panic moment wondering, wait, have I been muted this whole time? No. No, I have not. So one nice thing about Kokesh is if you're talking and they can't hear you, usually they'll say something like, hey, are you there? But we're all good as far as I can see. All the metrics are in the green. Infernal Drake in 30 seconds, and with a 12,000 gold lead, should be VIVO KEYD's for the taking. Unfortunately for Les Orientados, they have just not been able to find anything on the map. At this point, it's the risk of a perfect game, and VIVO KEYD making a very strong impression, and perhaps their first step on a journey through the lower bracket, trying to work their way all the way back to the semifinals, and maybe potentially fight their way to the finals in the upper bracket there, our Latin America South and Brazil division here. Certainly making a strong impression here. Shuriken Flip is not going to connect here, and Huya, no fear at all. Does use the riposte. Perhaps expected that. Actually, heel burn by Kiwi there. I think that was probably unintentional. He's full HP, and now Huya going deep once again. Look at the damage onto Kiwi. No flash. A flash was available there in the lineup, but it's not going to matter. Encore is going to find everybody. Absolute massacre here as Last and Kennedy are forced back away. Last under turret. Does not matter. One more turret shot might take down Mouse God. The barrier, I think, kept him alive there. Kennedy, the sole survivor of this fight. VIVO KEYD now 16-0. As we see here, actually an excellently owned ultimate there from Kiwi. Unfortunately, he's been pretty on point with the ultimates, but it just does not matter. Huya is able to play without fear here. Has mechanics on the Fiora and is able to just execute. And anytime you've got somebody that can dive like that forward, it just extends the Seraphine ultimate, the Encore. It's perfect, as here we go. Ultimatum comes through. Huya taking a lot of damage here, but being healed up by the Seraphine. LDX keep everybody topped off there. Nakadaki trying to take down. That's the first kill potentially. No, Huya is still alive. Miraculous there. The double kill comes through for Kodaki. Huya preserving the perfect game now. Rift Herald even summoned. I didn't even see that. I wonder if that was just timing out or intentional or not. Okay, they're trying to get Baron on spawn. This is why they threw the Rift Herald out, I believe. So you see Huya here is in the ultimatum, but just is able to kite it out effectively. The movement, very, very pristine, very precise here. Narf almost gets out there, but the last auto there from the Kai'Sa, the speed from the Seraphine, helping the Kai'Sa chase people down. And there goes the Baron to VIVO KEYD, as everything else has this game. To wait and see if the perfect game does happen, or if Les Orientados can at least get something back. If only for pride at this point. It certainly feels bad the way this game has gone for them. As Huya now going to look for Shelby. I think potentially could have chased that. I think being respectful of the Kiwi turn there potentially. Baron buff for a minute or two more here. We'll see what VIVO KEYD can get done. And here we have just a replay there of what I was pretty sure is going to be a solo kill there onto Shelby. But Huya, even with this much of a lead, playing respectfully. I like to see it, honestly. I mean, there's no reason. You have to think it would have to be a ton of giant mistakes many, many times over to look at turning this game. But still, playing respectfully, not a bad idea, and just staying disciplined for future games. As Kiwi once again does go in and goes down. And now the Nexus under threat. VIVO KEYD continuing their dominance. We'll have to back off and actually wait for another wave here. Looks like they're going to pivot to bot. They do still have that 5v4 mana advantage for 10 seconds. Still Kiwi comes through. Encore not available, but that is already a kill onto Narf. And now 0-8. That's only his clone taking the damage. The Nexus under threat. There's the ultimatum. It's only going to lock down one. Already a double kill. Kodaki is going crazy on the Kai'Sa this game. Hammering away with the damage. The Static Shiv is going to find Kodaki, but it's just not enough damage. They can't even get through the shields. The Nexus falls. VIVO KEYD triumph over Les Orientados in round number 1. Here we have a replay of that final fight. not too much to analyze here. I think for some time now, VIVO KEYD have been at a point where they can really just, as long as they play together, they basically cannot lose. LWX playing so my brain just processed LWX, of course, extremely famous AD carry from the LPL as well. But this time LWX piloting the Seraphine, looking just as clean. 1-0-17, a perfect game from VIVO KEYD. Very, very well played by them. 12-0-7, impressive performance from Kodaki, but I think for me, this is really the whole team. I mean, I think 0-8 really helped early on there, cooperating with Mouse God. They got a lot done there in the mid lane. They got the double scuttle. They got the kill onto the Corki there. Already setting Mouse God free to roam across the rest of the map, but honestly, this was just individual mechanical prowess in laning phase. Huya was 1v1, 1v2, just outplaying at every single turn. I mean, I think I've tooted the horn of the Fiora the most here, absolutely getting everybody there, but honestly, it was some great play and some great play all around by VIVO KEYD. Nothing too crazy with the itemization here. I think having something like the Bork is nice, especially into Leona. Leona is very, very deceptively tanky, especially when you're talking about just the 2v2 there in the bot lane early on. Leona has a lot of high base stats and just built-in tankiness depending on the runes, and of course built into her kit. You can see, okay, so I'm glad the damage charts here justify how much I was praising Huya, because yeah, absolute insanity. I talked about how when you've got somebody that can just dive up forward and play in front, it really does help out the Seraphine. Is when anytime she's got the encore, because you can just channel that through your allies. The range is extended when it goes through your allies, so that helps a lot. Really can't say enough about pristine play from the whole of VIVO KEYD here. And I know 0-8, you look at the numbers and doesn't stack up quite as much as Huya, but I think the double scuttle, the early jungle pressure was perfect from 0-8, and that's something that doesn't jump out right there. But when you see this gold lead, you know, 0-8 had an instrumental part in that, and I think did a really good job of getting some of his lanes ahead. I think really left top lane alone, and it didn't matter. Huya was perfectly fine, able to get some of that early dragon control and a lot of key cyclones as well. That's something, it gets so difficult. I was actually I was playing Lucian recently on League of Legends PC, and it's something I've encountered. One problem with Lucian is the range disadvantage. Lucian, he has a lot of power, a lot of damage specifically, and he does have the Relentless Pursuit, so it's a little bit of mobility. It's not necessarily quite as good as the Arcane Shift from an Ezreal for safety, and Ezreal has a lot better range with able to fire away those Mystic shots. So Lucian really just has the one, I mean, he's got Flash, but Relentless Pursuit to get away from one ability. So what do you dodge here? You got Mouse God coming through it with the Star, with the stun. You've got the Root coming through from LWX on the Seraphine, and you've got the Encore coming through, and you've got the double Cyclone from 0-8's Wukong. So much crowd control, it just makes it really, really difficult to play something like the Lucian here. I do really like Lucian, has had a lot of success in this tournament, but it's interesting to see now him not have success in this game and see potentially what works against Lucian. And I'm curious if that will change teams' perspectives, or maybe the champion is still pretty new to Wild Rift, so I think the understanding of Lucian and how to play him and how to play against him is still evolving a little bit, and I think we're seeing that firsthand here in this tournament. But we're going to go to a brief break for a few minutes here. Our next matchup is going to be VIVO KEYD versus GOAT, so we're going to watch VIVO KEYD once again, this time against GOAT, who triumphed in their round 1 match. We will head to a break. Don't go anywhere. Hello, hello. Welcome back, everybody. We are here once again with more Wild Rift in MGA's Copa America. I'm Veswer here, providing coverage for you for the English broadcast. So, we do have a couple of bands coming in for our next matchup today, which is, of course, GOAT versus VIVO KEYD. We already got a chance to see VIVO KEYD. I do want to correct a mistake I said earlier on air, which was that GOAT won their round 1 match. GOAT actually is already in round 2 based on the standing, dropping down the further you make it in the upper bracket. And then when you lose in the upper bracket, of course, the further into the lower bracket you are seeded. So GOAT winning their round 1 match in the winner's bracket is how they wound up here. But we already have draft, actually. So the bands coming through, let me relay those to you guys real quick. So we weren't sure if there was potentially a skip ban here, but Braum, Aurelion Sol, and Camille banned away. So Aurelion Sol makes a lot of sense after last game. I think most certainly GOAT was watching, because that makes a lot of sense when you see Mouse God on the Aurelion Sol. I want to take that off their hands. They do still ban the Braum and the Camille. Pretty understandable. And the Seraphine taken away here by GOAT. So Mouse God's going to pivot to the Ziggs, which is something that's been banned repeatedly, picked constantly here. Interestingly enough, now do they actually go for the Lucian Leone here? This would be a very... Okay, I like it. I like it. This is a confident pick, because we just watched VIVO KEYD absolutely dismantle a comp with Lucian Leone. But this is a little bit different because the Seraphine's been taken away now, and since Leone's locked in, unless something very insane like Leone top comes through, I think we know that that is going to be Lucian Leone bot, and therefore Seraphine pivoting to the mid lane, which is where I initially was talking about in the pregame show about this would be something we'd probably see throughout the rest of the tournament, was the Seraphine mid, something we saw a lot in the early days there, especially considering this is best of ones. I think people said that, or Pierce was my colorcaster then was telling me, and I agree with this too, that teams don't necessarily want to pick something that's really difficult, really hard to execute. We're talking about the Aurelia, something that can have those highlight plays, but can also have some very low lows if you aren't really mechanically skilled in the champion. We've seen some really great players. I shout out, of course, to Huya last game on the Fiora. This time we're piloting the Gragas, which certainly there is the opportunity for highlight plays, but isn't such a powerhouse split pusher, generally speaking. But I am eager to see Huya's Gragas. 0-8 piloting the Wukong once again. Kodaki on the Kaisa, and the Galio support coming through, which I really like. And this is one combination that I really like that they built. So we talked about yesterday, as we will be loading into the game now, getting into some action quickly here. I like it. So going with something like a Camille Galio, it is kind of a traditional combo, but the problem is that you're really just locking down one person, generally speaking, and hoping that there's no escapes or, you know, goofy stuff happening, stuff that they can play around that Hextech Ultimatum into Hero's Entrance combination. But here, you've got a Wukong Cyclone, almost guaranteed to knock people... well, to knock several people up, rather. And then you have the Hero's Entrance over the top from LWX and Mouse God's Mega Inferno Bomb over the top. It's a huge combo, and it's really good around objectives. It's like the perfect scenario, I'd say. Enemy team doing Baron, you throw that on top. Now, I'm not sure if that's actually going to happen. I mean, it would rely on GOAT making the decision to start Baron with all the enemy team up and all the ultimates up, and they're in range. So we'll see if that actually does happen. But very interesting that we're seeing three champions that were piloted by Los Orientados in the previous game in a really rough game, as you saw, now being piloted by GOAT. So I like the confidence, as I said, picking these champions even though they completely didn't work, saying, hey, no, we know how to do it, we have the skill to make this stuff work. Last game, that was Los Orientados' fault. We as GOAT, we can make these picks work. So I'm eager to see them test that. No Mercy gonna dodge away there. See if I have any early action here from 0-8. The push going heavily in the way of Mouse God and the Ziggs right now. So yeah, 0-8 just actually even helping him push there. But certainly paying a lot of attention to mid lane. This seems to be VIVO KEYD likes to play this way. They like to get Mouse God ahead. I think they trust that Huya is just going to outplay on his own, and that's been the case so far. It looks like it's happening now too, especially of course early on with the Akali. In fact, very interesting that she was actually forced back at level 1. I didn't actually see the trades, didn't burn any summoners, but had to recall and actually had to reset at level 1. So that feels really bad. As here we have a fight over the Scuttle Crab here. The root's going to go through. It could be bad news. 0-8 goes down. First blood goes over to No Mercy. Flash away. LWX finds a taunt onto one, but now 1v3 again. Kodaki's not there. LWX Flash will get him over the wall. First blood going the way of GOAT, though, already. That's exactly what you want as the Lucian here. brief clips of the last match. Yeah, so if you saw that one, that was not a good time there for the Lucian Leona Akali comp, but GOAT striking first. Certainly feeling good, and 0-8, who's normally the catalyst here for the early game for VIVO KEYD, actually was the one who fell there and did not get a Scuttle Crab either. He's going to get that top lane Scuttle Crab. So some solace, but no double Scuttle domination as he had in the previous game against Kennedy. Ocean Drake going to be our first Drake of the game here, and a full reset coming through from GOAT. So a slight gold lead, but I think credit to the laning prowess of VIVO KEYD still. Once again, only down a couple hundred gold, despite kind of a disaster in the bot lane. I think they're lucky to only have the one kill there. So we see Mouse God continuing to clear here. The question will be where the jungler's path next. Again, generally this is the case in the early game. It's always the early game flows through the jungler, and we have some action here top side. No perfect execution here. Now it just came up. Double ultimates available. But Huya body slams away, casts into the turret, 1v2, looking for a kill. One more turret shot. He's almost found. I'm assuming that Senior Mustard burns the barrier off of the Akali. Did burn the flash himself. I think that was initially to get back under turret, but Huya potentially even on the Gragas looking for the 1v2 plays here. I'm sure he didn't get the kill, but they burned the barrier off of the Akali. Okay, yeah, flashes away from the Flag and Drag. Well played there by Huya. And then he's actually able to get the cask here. Curious if he had the body slam. He maybe used the body slam earlier, and that's why they were calling for that gank. I'm not sure, because if you can get the cask into body slam combination, that was probably a kill there. But still very happy with that. You know, Snot devoting his time topside, and they get the flash, but they lose the barrier and lose so much health and force to reset. It doesn't feel great, and now 0-8. Taking a fair chunk there, but nice job on the clone to dodge out on most of that burst. We can see that burst. That is what Lucian is so good at here, especially early on. He doesn't have to worry about these big team fights or something like a Ziggs is outranging him too much. When he can just skirmish early on, that's where Lucian can be very, very effective. It looks like GOAT know it, and they're going to start off this Ocean Drake. Over the wall is 0-8. All summoners available for him and the rest of the team outside of Huya's flash. And Huya is here. 0-8 goes over the wall, finds the Cyclone on 3. A lot of damage with Inferno Bomb. The Drake does go the way of GOAT, but there is a lot of damage coming through. The taunt is going to find the Jarvan. Traded back with one kill. Kodaki is firing away. Stop at the Cataclysm for a second. 0-8 is burning, but it's going to survive. Kodaki maybe can find one more plasma shot. Will not do it, but on the back end of this is the Akali. Senior Mustard's already found one, but now maybe found out. Flash will not save the Akali. And that is a bloody fight right there. It winds up being a 3-for-2 in the favor of VIVO KEYD, but Ocean Drake goes to GOAT. Pretty even trade, all things considered. However, Mouse God should, with the Ziggs Satchel Charge, be able to take down this turret if he can get it. Yes! Just in time, Mouse God. Nice play there by VIVO KEYD to get something else in the back end of that, knowing that just one extra kill, maybe not enough, but with the health bar and man advantage, they're able to turn it into something else. But yeah, we see the Cyclone here in the replay. It looks like the perfect setup, right? But this is something I didn't get a chance to talk about as we had such early action. The one anti-synergy present here, a term we were using yesterday, myself and Moose. The anti-synergy present here is unfortunately the Gragas cask. He can just knock people out of the Hero's Entrance, knock people out of the Cyclone, knock people out of the Ziggs Mega Inferno Bomb, knock people in the wrong spot. Now, there's the potential. Huya has already shown some nice Gragas capabilities in that 1v2 early on. There's a potential for Gragas to even help this, to CC people further, make sure they get hit by those other large crowd control abilities and the AoE effects. But there's a very small margin for error here. Fast God just going to take one whack to the face from the Jarvan, and then that's not going to do too much. So really, really requires some good execution here from Huya to make sure he does not mess up these fights, and ideally that he facilitates them if possible. As Senior Muster recalling on a ward right there is forced to Shuriken flip back out, and No Mercy gonna get back over the wall. As GOAT looking for something here. They may have found Kodaki. Encore is not going to connect, but that is already Kodaki. Nice killer instinct from the wall is going to safety. LWX might not be so lucky. No, he will not. The Gragas, the Galio does go down. Mana advantage now and low health bars on the Kaisa. Yeah, recall coming through. So 5v3, I don't know if GOAT know this. 5v3, they are backing up. Mega Inferno Bomb's going to go up there over the top, not going to find anybody. So GOAT playing very respectfully, even taking down the Galio, and I guess they didn't see the reset coming through from Kodaki, but they knew that the Kai'Sa was low. Now looking for a steal on the Rift Herald. See if they can find it. They cannot. 0-8 secures that one. Cataclysm onto the back line. There's a Cyclone coming through, and that is a very low health bar, and already Pylo is dead on the Leona. Now looking for the roots, not going to find anybody, and the Jarvan goes down as well. Really unfortunate there for GOAT. I think they could have gone aggressively, knowing they took down the Galio. They had the man advantage. The reset came through from the Kai'Sa. They had a 5v3 power play. Nobody was terribly low, but they didn't want to go in there. They didn't want to contest that Rift Herald until they do this half-hearted. Yeah, right. We see here, just looking for a steal. Maybe, I mean, hey, if you want Snot to sacrifice himself as Flash is just about to come up. He's got the Guardian Angel, I guess, but I mean, he's just going to lose that. And he even burns the Flash. That feels really, really bad. I mean, it's one thing to just look for the steal there, but it's very odd to wait for the fight until the Galio has respawned and the Kai'Sa is even back from the reset. Then you go in and contest. Now you have a 5v5 against this team that, for the most part, loves 5v5s. Everyone on their team, save for Kai'Sa, has a gigantic AoE attack. And right in that Rift Herald pit, that's perfect. They love fighting right in those kind of choke points because it's much easier to land those abilities. So smart by VIVO KEYD to know that they can do that. I mean, they said, hey, you guys are going to give us the Rift Herald? Okay, I mean, we'll take this. And Snot goes in for the steal. I think that's fine, but they really go in for the full-on fight. Snot burns the ult, loses the GA, loses the Flash. Feels bad that stuff is going to be down for this Dragon fight as well. Ouya, not going to be caught out. See the root potential coming through there. The duo of Snot and Pylo has to be looking for those. We did see Kiwi, even in losing effort last time, have a lot of very key Leona ultimates. So the question is if Pylo can find those. It can be very effective. There are some mobile carries. Kodaki, I mean, he's got the killer instinct to play around with a little bit, and that helped him in that last fight to survive. Well played by him. But there's really definitely an opportunity to get onto Kodaki or Mouse God here, especially with the Akali there to lock him down. When you've got the Jarvan Leona going in, the Encore extended, but this time Go to just saying, hey, we're just going to give up this Cloud Drake. I don't hate it. I think it's better than trying to half-heartedly contest it later and potentially having everything go wrong. Looks like, yeah, they're just going to say, okay, we'll get a turret top side, we'll get the push top side, we'll take your blue buff. I definitely really like this from GOAT. It's nicely done. That's exactly what you want to do. And there's a cast that's going to separate three. Just trying to clear out the wave, I think, is who he has. Got to be careful, though. The Cataclysm could lock him down. Shuriken flip onto the Gragas. He's going to body slam back over the wall. He's really trying to defend this. Huya has got to be careful. There's the culling come through, but here's Edwards. Reinforcements are here. The turret does fall. Now Huya looking for more, looking for the taunt. Huya is very low here. A little bit more damage would take him down, but everyone's joining the fight now. The Gragas is still alive. Huya is going to recall there, saying, how do you like that? Now Pylo getting chased down. The slows are there trying to get away. We have a top side fight as well. Somehow 0-8 soloed No Mercy. And now the Baron going to be started. It's disaster for GOAT. They lose everything there, and credit to Huya standing tall. I thought he was I thought he was a madman sitting there under the turret that was surely going to fall as we look for a potential steal here from the Seraphine. Not going to happen. Actually, Kodaki was the one who secured that, so no smite. But hey, VIVO are happy to get the Baron nonetheless. But really well played by VIVO KEYD in that fight, and Huya in particular standing tall under that turret, knowing the hero's entrance could come through. I'm not sure if the Mega Inferno Bomb came through or not there, but well played by him for sure, and by the rest of VIVO KEYD. A lot of times, and this is something a lot of people will experience in solo queue, you'll think, hey, I can defend this turret, my team will come. I can fight this, I'm at a disadvantage, but my team will come, and nobody shows up. But of course, in competitive, that's much less likely to happen. You've got the communication, so Huya's probably saying, hey, come over here, we can fight this, we can fight this, we can fight this. And lo and behold, their big, fat, wombo teamfight comp once again coming through big. Now VIVO in command of a 4,500 goldie. It's not crazy, as the charm's going to come through only on the Wukong clone, unfortunately. Encore is only going to find thin air after the Wukong clone dissipates. So Guardian Angel Flash back up for Snot now. Just about everything there. Encore was burned. No Mercy actually did burn the culling, and now we have a cast there on a No Mercy. Speaking of, down goes the Lucian, down goes the mid-inner turret. VIVO KEYD now with a power play on the offensive, excuse me, and now Snot diving back. Flash is not going to save him. GA is going to be popped. LWX on the back line here. Zentra's going to get him back out. That is going to be the inhibitor turret down. VIVO KEYD should back away with that one, but that is a big gold advantage now. They're do some quick maths here. That's about 7,000. And Huya, I mentioned we wanted to see after Pure plays, some nice Gragas plays. Excellent cast there. I believe it was facilitated by the satchel charge from Mouse God finding the Lucian as well. I didn't quite see. I think there was some setup there, but it was a very nice cast. And now we have the fight. Cataclysm going to find two. That is Senior Mustard looking for something. Encore. That is going to be going golden. Senior Mustard, the Akali. The Gragas is already down. Now Goat are turning the fight. The Akali survives. Goat find two. 0-8 though. Maybe looking for vengeance. I think he could find the Akali. Okay, he's got to be careful. Now he's going to get... Oh, the culling is going to find him. 0-8 goes down. Mouse God with the heads up play to pick up that turret in the bot side. Meanwhile, but here we see there's a nice Leona ultimate. The Encore only finds one, but the Leona ultimate and the Cataclysm sets that up. Once you've got that set up there, Senior Mustard, even behind as the Akali, the damage comes through. The perfect execution has the execution damage. And 0-8 just overstepping there. It was a 2 for 0. He saw a low health bar. He had the sweeper. He saw Senior Mustard there, said, I can get this one kill back. Maybe make it a 1 for 1 or even get out. Unfortunately, he does not get out, even burns the flash. And now Goat. They may be down about 5.5K, but they've shown the capability to win these team fights as long as they start on their terms. Encore. Oh, no. 2 whiffs on ultimates, and now VIVO KEYD are going to start the fight. Cyclone's already going to find one. Seraphim's going to go down. Senior Mustard, though. Killer Instinct in the back line. And there's the Cathian ready to take down the Akali. 2 kills already for VIVO KEYD, and they might be looking to end here. No, okay. They're just pushing it out a little bit. They're positioning that way, but they're going to pick up this Infernal Drake. No problem. Second Drake of the game here for VIVO KEYD. Somewhat back and forth game, especially in these last few minutes here, but unfortunately, seeing the ultimate and the sunlight, the Encore, excuse me, a whiff there from the support and mid laner of Goat just really stinks, and that was the go button immediately. That was the word I was looking for VIVO KEYD, and they immediately press it, go to town, they pick up a pair of kills and a Drake. Now positioning around Baron, and very, very difficult for Goat to do anything here. Nice damage there, nice poke on a Mouse God. And actually, the Mega Inferno Bomb is almost going to take down the Seraphine, and now Mouse God maybe has overstepped, but the heal's going to keep him alive. He's going to go golden, force the flash away. Is the Jarvan, a rampage for Mouse God on the Ziggs. And no mercy, and Senior Mustard forced to back away. Reset came through from the Seraphine, and Encore is up along with the flash. But one more kill going over to VIVO KEYD, and Satchel, nice, will pick up that top lane turret. That's the last inner or outer turret standing for Goat. There are now none left standing, rather. And now looking for the perfect execution is the Akali. Encore is going to fight. Oh, the Encore goes all the way, takes down Mouse God. Nice Encore there, and now the turn. There's the culling coming through, trying to take them down. No Mercy is so strong right now. The perfect corridor there for the Lucian, and just fire away. And No Mercy cleans it up. And it's a sole survivor, so it's a 4 for 5. It is the ace, but it comes at a dear price for Goat. No Mercy, I think, is going to start soloing this Baron, knowing that Snot is on the way. So look at that Encore. It goes all the way into Baron Pit, takes down Mouse God, and then they see, okay, we have to get on this Lucian, but this is the perfect scenario. Lucian and Seraphine, they love that little corridor by the red buff. It's perfect for a culling, it's perfect for an Encore, it's perfect for all of their abilities. They're all so linear, but still able to hit multiple people. It's just the perfect scenario there for Goat. Everyone just funneling into that choke point for them. And Goat, they're really fighting tooth and nail. This is nothing like the last game. Very, very far from a perfect game. They're still down about 4.5K. But if you're VIVO KEYD, I mean, you're not secure in this one. You've got to be careful. Goat have shown strong capability to win these fights or come very close to winning them. Now we see perhaps the old NA Ram has made its way south. As now potentially a fight over the Baron. Baron control A lot of poke potential going to come out here. Of course, the old AP Kai'Sa is always going to have a little bit more poke, but still Kai'Sa and Ziggs, especially with the range advantage over the Lucian. Got to be careful, but no mercy. Not had too much trouble with that. Now Huya going in. Maybe it's caught. Heroes entered Cyclone, though. The flank coming through from 0-8. Kodaki Killer Instinct into the back line. There's the Catapult coming through, but already Snot has gone down. The Akali is dead in the back line. It's disaster for GOAT. The full chase down comes through. From VIVO KEYD Pilot's going to be chased down, and it's only Minguacha. I'm sorry about the pronunciation here. This Seraphine's the last one alive, and LWX is going to look to chase that one down. Flash might get Seraphine to safety. Justice Punch comes through. Kiting this one out as a Seraphine, but all they want to do is stop the recalls because she's the last one standing. LWX does fall, but happy to sacrifice the life is the Galio, because that's the Nexus. VIVO KEYD in a thriller take down GOAT and advance to round 3 of the lower bracket. Here we have a nice replay. So just huge here by 0-8. He finds the Seraphine, forces her to go golden. She's not doing any damage. They find no mercy right there as well. So here, and you have all alone Senior Mustard going in on the backside there, trying to take down somebody. I'm not sure who he was going for there. Maybe LWX. I didn't see exactly, but he's not able to find it. I think actually it was Mouse God. Now that I think about it, I think it was going on to Mouse God. So it's a smart play, but unfortunately, at this point with the Akali, it's just so hard to solo people. You see the Zhonya's on Kodaki and Mouse God. It makes it so hard to play the Akali. He's got a Zhonya's of his own, but it becomes so difficult when you have so many of your abilities are just split second. You have to be quick on the Akali, generally speaking. You have to be able to burst people. You can't give them the opportunity to react. And when you've got these Zhonya's buying extra time, it's such bad news. And the AoE, literally every single person on VIVO KEYD in this team comp has AoE, area of effect damage. It makes it so frustrating to play the Akali. You could see Senior Mustard was continually frustrated in that game. The times where it worked was when it was facilitated there by the Seraphine, by the Leona setting all of that up. But unfortunately, when that wasn't there, when he was just looking for the solo kill, saying I could pick off the Ziggs, and then one of their carries is gone, it just did not happen. And credit to VIVO KEYD too, peeling for the carries. The carries, the position as good as well as they could. They used the Zhonya's passive the best of its effect. Its full effect rather, and you had LWX on the backside, making sure he was on point with the hero's entrance there. Usually it was LWX onto Huya was the combination, and that was very, very effective in just about every single one of those fights. Really a perfectly executed last fight there by VIVO KEYD. With the goal advantage, it means they're always going to have a slight advantage in those fights, but even so, it was really, really well played. You can see the MVP here, Kodaki, I think very justified. I love it when I see Kai'Sa players that are willing to killer instinct into the backline like that last fight. It's really hard to know the line between just inting or like the highlight Jackie Love Kai'Sa play is very, very fine. So you got to be careful. And Kodaki, I think, really showcasing some mastery of Kai'Sa once again here, as in the previous game. And I thought that was really well played. But you can see Huya really showing up with the Gragas there, 17,000 damage. I mean, hey, of course, shout out to Mousecott and Kodaki dishing out so much damage. It's exactly what they needed to do. But it was, once again, Huya really frontlining, really seems to be the, you know, the one making the first. I don't know if Huya's a shot caller necessarily for this team, but it does kind of feel that way. A lot of times, it's Huya and 0-8 cooperating like in that last fight. Huya goes all in. Again, it's one of those plays that you look at it first glance and say, wait, is Huya insane? No. It's completely perfect. He comes in, knows he has the hero entrance over the top, set that up, the flank from 0-8 comes through, and that's all about that communication there. You see that? That's communication. Hey, I'm flanking. Hey, let's go in. We can go in here. We can catch them in the flank, and there's that combination there when you got the Cyclone, locking people down, and forcing people to go Zhonya's, like we saw Mung on the Seraphine, go golden in the middle of the fight, force people to burn Guardian Angel. This is a team that loves doing that, because the only way to escape this is just with a ton of kiting. The minute you stop moving, even if it's to go golden like that, you're dead. You're dead, because you're going to have a Galio waiting for you with a taunt. You're going to have a Wukong waiting for you. It's just very bad news. And champions like Ziggs, where their abilities really are skill gated, they rely on you hitting their skill shots is the word I'm looking for here. So something like a Ziggs actually loves it when you go golden. Of course, it's not fun if you're immuning the Ziggs ultimate, but Ziggs cooldowns is later in the game is so short. He kind of loves it if you're basically saying, I'm going to sit here for 2.5 seconds, and the minute that ends, you can kill me. And Ziggs says, okay, I'm going to throw down some mines. I'm going to throw down a satchel charge. I'm going to time my Q perfectly, even my ult perfectly, to kill you as soon as you come out of that. So really just great communication, I think, showcased. Without knowing the comms, I think just the gameplay exhibits that. So well played by VIVO KEYD. But we have another match on the docket for the day. It's going to be Los Grandes versus Lightning Dragon. Should be a cool matchup as we journey further into the lower bracket of the MGA Wild Rift Copa America, North America and Latin America, Latin America South and Brazil bracket. We switch off between the days. I get in the wrong track here. So we're jumping into Los Grandes versus Lightning Dragon after a break here. Don't go anywhere. Hello, I was muted there. Apologies. So we are back now for more coverage of the MGA Wild Rift Copa America. This is Los Grandes versus Lightning Dragons, and already getting into picks and bans. Brief update on the bans that came through: Camille, Ziggs, Braum, and Lee Sin. So once again, kind of 3 bans that make sense. Lee Sin, I think, is a logical ban. I feel like he's been such an integral part of the meta for so long, but he kind of fell out of favor a little bit more recently. We haven't seen Lee Sin much lately, so it's kind of interesting to see that banned away. I wonder if that is perhaps a target ban coming through. But Camille, Ziggs, Braum, Lee Sin, I'll take it off the table here as we see picks coming in pretty rapidly. I love it. Seeing the Rengar coming through here from Los Grandes. Very, very nice. We actually saw some Rengar, one Rengar at least, have a lot of success yesterday. Requires some aggressive play, requires some early facilitation, but it can really work. And the Nasus coming through here from Lightning Dragons as well. Very interesting here. Actually, I want to make sure I'm right on the teams here because I'm just looking. We got LG and LDG. I'm pretty sure Lightning Dragons will be Yeah, that's got to be Lightning Dragons. Okay, I'll have to keep this straight. Apologies if I do mess it up here. Also, remember, Silver Dragon, I believe, is, of course, on team Lightning Dragon. Love the names. And Showmaker. Wow, we've got so many superstars showing up in our MGA tournament. Showmaker taking a break here from LCK. Waking up early in Korea to play some Diana. I'd love to see it. Of course, not actually Showmaker, as far as I know, but should be a good one here. I'd love to see the Diana actually in the mid lane this time around. That was something I was kind of wondering about, the potential for Diana to be flexed around there, and being showed off here should be pretty cool. We've already seen one pretty awesome Fiora today. We'll see what Pata 99 has in store for us there in the top lane matchup against a Nasus. Silver Dragon with the Ignite Ghost Grasp Nasus. Very, very interesting. I'm really eager to see how this plays out. And man, there's so much to dive into in this draft, but the drafts go so fast. I mean, I'm going to shout out the teams and say they come into this prepared. They know what they want. They know what they want to pick. That is great. But boy, it leaves me waiting. You know, I don't have time to jump into everything I'd love to, but Tom piloting the Irelia. I'm so glad we finally got to see an Irelia. I talked about how maybe teams don't necessarily want to get my cam off the screen here so you can actually watch the game. Sorry about that. And I love this because Irelia, we talked about how it can be feast or famine, but the feast is so fun to watch. And the Rengar, same deal. I love these picks coming through here, especially knowing everything is on the line here in the lower bracket. Best of one, you lose here, you're out of the tournament. So, you know, go all out, pick whatever you want as a... Yeah, pretty interesting there. I think both teams kind of scuffling over the bot river, and you wind up with both Pot 99 and Silver Dragon both hanging out there in the mid lane. Pot 99 even taxing a couple of creeps there. I think Pot 99 might have missed a little bit of XP. Well, no, because he got the XP from mid, so... Yeah, maybe smart there by the Fjord and know exactly how much XP he needs. Make sure he's not going to be behind, even though Silver Dragon was the first one to the lane. It does not matter. Level 2 goes to Pata 99. Nice little start there for the top laner of Los Grandes. And now, early on here, I'm really curious how Tom against Showmaker. Ooh, looking like bad news for Tom here in the Aurelia early on. Very high skill cap, I would say, is the Aurelia here to make it work in this matchup. So we'll wait and see if Tom has the outplay that's coming through. Has the Ignite versus the barrier of Showmaker. And there, once again, Showmaker going in, burning a lot of mana. Tom trying to trade back, and now, wow, very nice trade there by Tom. And now, unfortunately, he's going to find a Rengar, though. No jump available for the Rengar from the bush, but does get the flash out of Tom early on. So it's hard to say how much of an impact Striker had there. I think, if anything, he probably scared the Aurelia away when she might have actually looked for more of an all-in. But they do get the flash out, so I think at the end of the day, Los Grandes are happy with that one. Yeah, you can see, I think Tom saw the Rengar coming in and backed away. May have actually stuck around there. Maybe had the sixth sense to know that Rengar was there, even if he stayed in the bush. But Silver Dragon, yeah, now Striker just waltzing right up to the top lane. Zoning Silver Dragon off. This is exactly what you want to do against the Nasus, and it really feels bad for Silver Dragon. He's got to be careful, too. It has no flash, just the Ghost and the Ignite. So if he gets engaged upon, it's pretty difficult for him to get out. Now, if it's something like this, where it's a longer lane, he's in the top lane, this is exactly where he wants to be. It's smart play by Silver Dragon to know, as hold on, we go to a fight here. Looking for the flag and drag. The turret just goes down, though, and now Tom here for reinforcements. Striker forced to flash away. 1v1 here on the top side, ultimate burn. Now, Doxa's got to be careful here. Silver Dragon there for reinforcements. He's just left the German all by itself, though. And Tom has already found a kill. It's going to be returned by Showmaker. And the Ignite there at a -99. Oh, no. He even burns the barrier. Oh, but he gets the heal over the wall. Pot of 99. I thought he... Wait. What is he doing? I guess he just knows he's dead. Okay. Oh, man. Wow. What an interesting series of events there. At the end of the day, it's a 2 for 2, but it could not be more crazy. I don't think there's a crazier way to arrive at that trade. So we develop into this strange series of 1v1s where we have Tom versus Striker. Oh yeah, well, we're back to the action here, but for some to go over what happened a little bit. Tom did pick up the kill on the Rengar, but Showmaker traded it back. Pot of 99 picks up the kill there. But unfortunately, it is traded back as well. Oh, and okay. Silver Dragon is dead. Not sure what happened there, as under pressure here in the bot side. So Gragas support here as well. So some really interesting pivots that, again, didn't get a chance to dive into, as hold on, do have some action coming through here. Doxa gonna try to find Mist. The culling is there. Nice flash away from the Cataclysm. The Casket's actually gonna knock Daxter back in. Forced to flash over the wall. Now Striker is here. Oh no, Tom has been found out. And unfortunately, the Vanguard's Edge is not gonna help. Tom goes down, the Aurelia there. Skelio forced back away here. And the Infernal Drake should be started up here by Los Grandes. Ooh, that is so close. Oh no! Look for the kill. It's by 99. If he can find the riposte, he does, but he burns the ultimate. And he's not gonna find it. Doesn't want to dive under the turret there. Now Doxa could be found out here. Gonna try to flag and drag back to the turret. Again, could be dissuaded here, but no, looks like Los Grandes want to find the dive here. Tom is already back, has no ultimate, but is gonna get back under the turret. So many low health bars. Can they juggle the aggro effectively? Showmaker under the turret finds the big moonfall. They're gonna find 3, and the aggro is juggled perfectly. 3 kills going over to Los Grandes. They have broken this game wide open. 7-2 now, their kill lead, and they are up almost 5,000 gold here at the 5-minute mark. So we have a replay here. So overall, I think well played by Mist. Flashes out of the Cataclysm, casts back in. They do get the flash out of Doxa here. Then the hero's entrance over the top burn for no reason, unfortunately. And yeah, Tom unfortunately caught on the rotation, which is really just unfortunate. I don't think there was any vision there. They didn't know that he was coming outside of maybe communicating that Aurelio was missing, but they get it nonetheless. And now, yeah, we have a replay here of the dive. So many low health bars, and man, Showmaker just sets this one up. I should actually credit Mist and Showmaker. The combination of the body slam and the moonfall, just perfect there. Oh, diving back into the stun, but hey, it doesn't matter. Los Grandes showing off some coordination and mechanics there in the dive. They do have that early Drake already, and they picked up 3 turrets to this point. All outer turrets gone. We'll see where they target next. Rift Herald spawning soon. Looks like they got a fight. Ultimate pot by Striker. Now they found the Jarvan. Cataclysm not going to save him. Guardian Angel pop. Two-shot barrage is massive. They're going to find 2, and they're even going to take down the Jarvan to boot in addition to the Guardian Angel. It's a rampage for Fusion, looking insane on the Ezreal. The two-shot barrages in particular haven't got a chance, but all of them have been on point that I've seen so far. Really nice cask just to further force everyone back into the team there, and Showmaker locking everyone down. The coordination is just so on point here. The Diana, the Gragas, even just the Rengar jumping in and then throwing the bullets, the slows, and the lockdown to just facilitate the chase here, the pursuit, and stuff like the Ezreal, like the two-shot barrage. Ezreal loves to be in this position. Every time he hits somebody with his Mystic shot, his cooldowns are lowered. So the more fighting he gets to do, the more fighting he gets to do, basically. So he loves being in these chase down at times because, sure, Ezreal is good at kiting. He can escape with the Arcane Shift, but he's equally good at chasing down these fights. It's one of Ezreal's strongest suits, and Fusion showing off some nice mastery of the champion as well. Key items coming in already. Rod of Ages purchased some time ago by Showmaker, and Fusion has the 2 items. He's got the Muramana fully upgraded, and he has the Trinity Force. Trinity Force also picked up by Pada99. Los Grandes in an excellent position against Lightning Dragons to this point. And now, Pada99 could be in trouble. Tom, got to be careful. 1 and 3, not having a great time in the row. Unfortunately, we talked about Feast or Famine. It has certainly been Famine for the most part here, and now could be more. Silver Dragon to be caught out. Is going to go down. No Guardian Angel to save him this time. The Cataclysm might trade back 1. Yes, they found Pada99. Very low is the Galio. He's going to go down. Here is Fusion in the middle of 3. The cask is perfect to help keep the Ezreal alive. Fusion takes them down with the damage. True-Shot Barrage is going to pick up the double kill again. I didn't even cast a curse that he's so good with two-shot barrages. He cannot be jinxed. He's immune to it. Fusion is going to help Mist take down that turret. Showmaker, meanwhile, going to pick up that mid lane one. Yeah, we see here Striker again starting this one off. It's a nice turn on a Fiora there. They lock her down. They get her with the Hero's Entrance. They get the Cataclysm now. They even get the taunt off on her, which is difficult. Sometimes it's more on the Fiora to miss the riposte than some of those key abilities. I didn't see if he did exactly in the Chaos, but I'll just credit Lightning Dragons for the pick there. But the turn is huge. And that cask, I can't talk about enough how important that cask was. Fusion went all in on there. He dived into melee range against 2 members, dived into melee range against the 2 strongest members of Lightning Dragon. Could have been terrible, but the cask keeps everybody at range. Perfect for the Ezreal. Now Doxson could be in trouble. I think he'll be okay. Doxson gonna be, I mean, okay, ultimate under the turret there from Striker. Yeah, I mean, that's smart. You don't want to dive onto the Jarvan that deep. I think even with a nice gold advantage here, about 7.5k, you still want to be careful. You never know. Drake should be taken here. Yep, Doxa knows. Well, okay, yeah. So there's an example of something I talked about in the previous game where, I mean, I know the Drake went down really fast, but you got to try to decide if you want to contest the Drake or not. And Lightning Dragons, it's a very, very tough position, you know. But you really want to say, okay, if we're going to give up this Drake, we got to look for something here. Something elsewhere on the map. Unfortunately, they're just kind of wandering around in their blue jungle and not able to get anything. But still, the advantage is being pressed here by Los Grandes, and they are just continuing to deal so much damage. The cast is actually going to knock the Lucian in. Where have we seen that before? Saurian on the Lucian. It's going to get out there with the Relentless Pursuit. True-Shot Barrage, I think, did find him. It was off screen, but I think, again, Another ultimate from Fusion, and now we have the fight. The inhibitor is down, the Cataclysm ×1, the taunt over the top. Vanguard's Edge could be big. Is this finally the fight for Tom? They found one. The Aurelia is very low. The dive back in from Striker. They do take down Tom, and now the chase is here. Everyone's here. Fusion's still alive with a sliver of HP and the help of the red buff. They find the 1 for 3. Showmaker may have fallen at last, but they take 3 down with him. Los Grandes with a 12,000 gold lead in full command and control of this game. Might look for a reset at this point. Spend some of that gold, and we see the dive here. I mean, it's essentially just battle of the wallets. Every ultimate thrown out right on top of each other. The Vanguard's Edge finds a few. The resets coming through for Tom. This was probably close to the best case scenario for the Aurelia, but the damage is just too big right now. Fusion is just smacking everyone, just an insane amount. Lots of damage to quote Freak. Does have the Trinity Force, so it makes a lot of sense. 3 items now on the Ezreal. It's just too much, unfortunately. You look at the items, I mean, most members of Lightning Dragons are down 1, even 2 items. It's just too difficult to tank through this damage. Tom does not have time to stack up the damage, and he needs time because he doesn't have enough damage to burst anybody down at this point. Here we have another fight. Doxa is caught out. The cast is going to knock Tom back in there, and that should be a kill. Yes. 2 already going over, and now potentially the Gallo caught out as well. Pilot 79 chasing that one down. True shot barrage. Oh. Everybody misses eventually. Fusion has been just taking everyone down with these true shot barrages. Doesn't get the snipe there, but it's a good try. And now, Final 99 being chased down by Silver Dragon. Perhaps the Nasus finally is starting to reach a point later in this game, but no, Fusion is still too strong. It's Mist that picks up the kill on that one. Things looked a little bit scary for Final 99 there for just a brief moment, but at the end of the day, it is another kill. It's the Baron going over to Los Grandes, so we get a replay here. So Doxa caught out once again. You know, on the Jarvan, when you got the GA, you got the Flash, you got the Flag and Drag. You actually didn't have the Flash. You just can't take your Krugs right now. Unfortunately, they just do not belong to Lightning Dragons. And venturing over there, they lose 2. They lose the Baron for it. Baron was probably going to go down anyway, let's be fair, but an explanation of the events, at least. And Silver Dragon looked like he was stacking up those siphoning strikes. He was starting to get a little bit of that late game Nasus damage. Not necessarily late game, but just a little bit later. But it still was not enough. Now we see the siege in full effect here for Los Grandes. And the cask is going to come over the top. Dox is going to find a body slam, is going to hit 2. And there's a catapult over the top. Big Moonfall comes through from Showmaker. The chase is here. Only 2 members of Lightning Dragons left. Starion going to back into the fountain, but the Nexus will fall. Los Grandes pick up the kill there over Lightning, the win there, excuse me, over Lightning Dragons. It's fairly back and forth early on, but overall a pretty dominant win here. We have the replay here. Siege all across. Everyone pivots over the top side. Again, the Vanguard's Edge finds several, but the CC is just huge there. They're continually just stopping the Aurelia from popping off in these fights, forcing the Lucian back. This is the problem when your damage is coming through from maybe Nasus, but Lucian and Aurelia, it's all melee or very, very short range. And against something like the Ezreal, it's so difficult. And that's who they have to get onto. In order to win these fights, they have to get onto the Ezreal, potentially onto the Diana, but it's just so difficult when the Diana is bringing the crowd control, when the crowd control from Mist is coming through. I thought his Gragas was very, very incredible. Of course, Fusion coming through with the MVP. I think I was praising him certainly well enough in the game. Ezreal looked very, very clean. Well played there by the whole of Los Grandes. And a pretty fun game to watch, all things considered. I was curious about a lot of these picks on both sides. I think some interesting ones. You have the Diana and the Rengar I would point to, and the Aurelia and the Nasus coming through. All some very interesting picks. I think the Galio Jarvan combination is a cool one. I can see it working in theory. I think the problem was just the gold lead got too big too quickly. When you have something like a Lucian, I think that you want to have at least try to stay even early on, because once Lucian is getting behind, I mean, I've talked about it several times, the range advantage just comes in so huge later on in this game, especially with the Ezreal. His cooldowns get so short, his damage gets so insane later on. it's just so difficult to play it as a Lucian, because in a straight 1v1 against Ezreal, where you have the opportunity to maybe dodge, you know, the Mystic Shot or something like that, dodge the True Shot Barrage perhaps with your Relentless Pursuit, sure, maybe you can 1v1. But when did we ever see that happen? Not a single time, unfortunately. You know, how are you supposed to, as starting, how are you supposed to start these fights? How are you supposed to actually walk in and fight as the Lucian when you're starting every fight at half HP because you get peppered with Mystic Shots the entire game and all the lead up to the fight? Tom actually with a pretty impressive amount of damage in there, especially in these fights that are so hard to navigate. I'll even say it with Doxa's Cataclysms, that can even be a little bit of anti-synergy for the Aurelia, because Aurelia just wants to be able to dive and jump around in these fights, and it can be difficult because the Cataclysm will lock certain people inside of it and push other people away, and it just kind of creates this terrain that becomes a little bit more annoying for Tom and the Aurelia to navigate. So that just makes these fights even more chaotic, as we saw in the game. So just very, very difficult to play the Aurelia. Of course, you know, part of me wants to see the Aurelia have success, but I think it's exactly as myself and certainly Pierce pointed out last weekend, that they're really, it's so difficult to have the Aurelia work out. It requires everything to kind of go exactly the way you want it to. It requires some facilitation from the fights, and at this point, one has to wonder, maybe we are questioning the Lucian picks, because a lot of times it seems like the Lucian is just getting outranged and having some problems with that. But we have seen some Lucians have great success this tournament too, so it may really just depend on the teams themselves, the Lucian players piloting the champion themselves. But we're going to be heading to a short break here. Our next matchup, VIVO KEYD versus eBro Gaming. So jump back in a few minutes for that. See you then. Excuse me, I want to make sure I have my mic on here. Welcome back, everybody, to our live coverage of the MGA Wild Rift Copa America. I'm Vesper, providing commentary today. We are going to be jumping into our match shortly. We already have some bands coming through. It is VIVO KEYD versus Ebro Game. We're getting very far into the lower bracket here. VIVO KEYD, we actually followed in 2 games already. Certainly made a strong impression, especially in game number 1 with a perfect game against Los Orientados. The bands coming through, I have our Gragas, Ziggs, Braum, and Camille. So, not really any surprising bands at this point. We've seen all these champions picked or banned already repeatedly throughout the tournament. Coming through with the Gragas and the Ziggs bands tells me, hold on, we'll get a better idea because we're jumping right into the draft here. Let's jump over to that. So, Seraphine already locked in here for VIVO KEYD. I was curious about that. Potentially coming through, whether it's support or mid, we've seen it flexed either way. And there's the Jarvan Galio combination. Again, I like this combo. You got to be careful not to develop some anti-synergy with it. But this combo in and of itself is so good. Cataclysm locks him in. Hero's Entrance smacks him down. It's a great combination. But here we have Mascot Zerelian Soul once again. And really, the same comp that VIVO KEYD got the perfect game with now looks like what they're setting up again. The Wukong is available, the Fiora is available. I'm curious if they like that. This time, though, the Xayah Rakan, the Lovers Do, are going to be picked up here by Ebro Gaming. So I'm curious how that will play into presumably the Kaisa Seraphine. No way they just run it back. The Wukong hovered. Huya, do we go with the Fiora? Or are they changing it up to the Garen? Okay, so the slightest of adaptations there from the comp that did work. They did have the Fiora changed over to the Garen there. Blind, presumably, yes. They're going to be up against the Renekton. Very interesting. I don't know that I like this too much. Now, I mean, I don't know the background here. If Ebro Gaming, maybe this is a Renekton pick they really like. I think Renekton is fine as a champion, but into the Garen in particular, I think Garen probably a smart blind pick there by VIVO KEYD because Garen is able to break free of the any kind of slow effect. I mean, he's able to reduce stuns. He's got such built-in tenacity and also built-in sustain with his passive. So it's so difficult to take down a Garen in lane. You really would have to all in him. I think the only way I see it working is with some setup there from I don't know if it's Ezez or Easy. We'll call him Easy. But Easy basically with some setup there from the flag and right from the Jarvan potentially can set things up for the Renekton, and that's probably exactly what they want to do. You know, piloting the Galio in the mid lane here is Tix. He's certainly going to be wanting to join the Hero's Entrance into the side lane. And looking to get some of these lanes ahead. You've got Xayah Rakan. They're going to scale pretty well. They have a lot of team fight power. I think, again, with the Renekton, it makes me think a little bit that Renekton doesn't fit too much into the whole identity of the comp as we get into the team fight phase here. Excuse me, we'll get my face out of here. This looks like a lot of heavy team fight and pretty effective as well from Ebro Gaming. But I think the Renekton makes sense as far as just split pushing there, making sure nobody can match him in the 1v1 as long as he does get ahead. But wait and see, as there should be a lot of action in the side lanes here. Although we have seen 08 really likes to play around Mascot early on in these ones. He loves pathing towards mid, even if it's just to help him push, you know. As you can see here, he's got the push against Tix, so I wouldn't be surprised to see a 08 just show up just to make his presence known or just assist a little bit. Maybe even if Tix does overstep his bounds, punishing there. We'll wait and see. 08 is showing a lot of early focus, as most junglers do. Yeah, you can see 08. See, there he is. He's looking mid once again, as you can see on your mini-maps there. They're even looking for a dive here onto Tix. One more hit with one more star. The auto attack will come through, and Mascot nicely done there to not take the tower shots. I know it's a small thing, but uh-oh. Flag driver of the wall. They're looking to turn, though. They're going to bait the Jarvan. The barrier was still available. One more auto will take down Mascot, and it comes through. So 08 and Mascot look for the bait. They do get the flash out of Easy. Meanwhile, bot side, we have a 2v2 kill already. A lot of craziness here. And this one, 08 is so low, pathing down. Oh, man. Kite is so low. I'm curious what that fight was. 08 is going to get back under the turret, but 3 for 1 across 2 different lanes for Ebro Gaming. Here we just get a repeat there. I mean, yeah, it makes a lot of sense. And I was going to point out Mouse God making sure to not take an extra turret shot there. It's so easy to walk into range of either turret in that spot. It's surprisingly difficult to walk the tightrope there, and he did. But unfortunately, he does die because they try for this turn. Oh yeah, perfect. Yeah, thank you. So we get a replay here of the turn that they set up. They set up this Fnatic bush here on easy. And they were trying to bait with the barrier, but it's like, this is a full HP Jarvan. He's just going to smack you down. He doesn't really care about the barrier. So I almost think Easy could have taken down 0-8 there, but he might know something I don't about the cooldowns or the damage going through a 0-8 in that situation. But a very nice start for Ebro Gaming, and they absolutely punish just the huge amount of aggressiveness around mid lane there from 0-8 and Mouse God. And looking bot side, yeah, unfortunately, Shaka did fall there. And now here at Cataclysm, they're getting the flash out of Shaka. Speaking of, nice little gank there. That's going to set that one up nicely for a repeat gank, potentially. Shaka will have the encore as soon as those level 5s are ticked. Not sure what the XP is at, but should be pretty close, seeing as Kite just ticked. Yep, there's level 5s coming through right now for everyone except Jastly. And holy cow, this is a gigantic dive behind the inner turret. What is going on? The hero's entrance over the top is going to keep the Renekton safe. Wow, VIVO KEYD playing more aggressively than I think we've seen them in any of the games so far. Perhaps frustrated by that early play, looking for more. Tix wants something though, finds the taunt. He has reinforcements from the Rakan. The damage coming through. One more auto will take him down. Tix does fall to the Garen, and Huya is, oh, the flash even is going to take down. Oh, and 0-8 falls to the feathers as well. So the bot lanes actually did do the lane swap here. So Kadaki and Shaka are still in bot lane, but Jastly and Kite came up top, and Tix knew it. He starts that fight, maybe even a tad bit too early, but he kept everyone interested, and it winds up getting a 2-for-1 in favor of Ebro Gaming, I believe. And now, potentially even a turret. I'm not sure if they're going to be able to take that one with Kite and Buddha firing away at that turret. Looks like they were not able to take that one down. So still no turret falling, and the gold dead even, which again, VIVO KEYD, very strong laners, CSing effectively, able to keep this gold lead. They even have now a couple hundred gold lead. Well, I shouldn't say that. It's changing as we speak, but they're going to have first dibs on this Infernal Drake, but certainly Ebro Gaming going to want to contest this. Gotta be careful though. Mouse God is there looking for the stun. Only finds the Rakan. Here's the Cataclysm over the top. Godaki's in the middle of 3. Killer Instinct's gonna get him back out. The Encore finds one. Charms from both sides. They take it down Kite though. VIVO KEYD, they are gonna win this fight. Mouse God's gonna chase him down. Can he find one more? Flash follow. The dodging of the stars, man. Jastly playing so well. Is he even gonna look for the? No way he finds it. Okay, man. Tix and Jastly doing the absolute best they can to kite out Mouse God's Aurelion Soul, but overall VIVO KEYD get a really nice fight. They pick up that Infernal Drake, and we'll get a replay here. So the stun only finds Jastly, and you know, CCing the Rakan, unless they're going to chain CC him, it's really not who you want. The Cataclysm on the Kodaki, I thought this was bad news, but 0-8 is right in the middle of everybody, just protecting Kodaki, running interference there, and the Encore is huge from Shaka, finds everybody. And the whole time, you've got DPS coming out from Mouse God, and then he commences the chase down. Man, I love watching Mouse God's Aurelion Soul. It's absolutely crazy how aggressively he's going here. I mean, he almost does find both kills there, despite the best efforts of Jastly. And now, I talk about how aggressive he is. I think he's going to be okay here. He's got some from Shaka. And now, oh man, looking for Jastly. He doesn't have the flash that they can't follow, and they got to be careful, because here comes Buddha on the Renekton. Kite even fell there. No, oh man, Huya looking for a kill there. Demacian Justice came through, and now we're gonna find one. I think the Ignite is gonna burn down. Oh, the redemption was there. I think it wasn't gonna be in time anyway, and I think Easy knew that, but the fight continues. Look at the damage, just insane. The old KDA combo down there, the Kaisa Seraphine, just doing so much damage. You've got the passive stacking up, the auto is stacking up. They almost just one-shot Kite there with one extremely quick rotation, and the Rift Herald should go to VIVO KEYD now, no contest. Only 4,000 gold up, but these last few fights have gone so far in the favor of VIVO KEYD. It feels like they're further up than that. We get a replay here. So again, this is the kind of thing about the Rakan. They do almost get him, but when the Rakan is the one you're chain CCing, it's so easy for him to get out. He's got so many tools to escape. And yeah, we saw the back end of that Huya flashing in, but now Mouse God could be caught out. Is going to come through with the encore. It's going to find two, but now Shaka could be in trouble 0-8. It's got to try to turn this one. Is he going with the Cyclone to find two? Easy, maybe overstep there. Does have the Cataclysm. Is going to find the auto, takes down Shaka. The retreat kill finally comes in from 0-8, but forced to flash away. The rest of the teams on the other side of the map, 0-8 could be in trouble here. He's going to get chased down. The Ignite is there. The autos are there from Jastly. The flash follow. The clone falls, and finally 0-8 does as well. Game already shaping up to be a bloodbath at this point. VIVO KEYD still with a 3,000 gold lead, but they're caught with two members away. Kadaki's not there. Huya's already on the bot side. Meanwhile, you have 4 members of Ebro Gaming. Again, they're continually finding these man advantages in the side lanes. I talked about the action in the side lanes being a big factor. Certainly has been here. I think 0-8, hey, smart to try to get something back there, but shout out to Easy as well, turning there onto Seraphine, knowing he can get the Cataclysm and the kill. Again, what a surprise. Mouse God behind enemy lines. This time they find 1 kill. Can they find more? Shaka's going to be in trouble here. The stun on the Kite, though, they got to be careful. That's going to be a lot of damage onto the Xayah. The Featherstorm is going to get the Xayah back, but the stars are there. They've taken down Kite. It is traded back onto Mouse God, but already a 1 for 2. Make that a 1 for 3. We had a solo kill somewhere else on the map. Huya picking up a kill as well. VIVO KEYD again showing this team fight dominance. Mouse God on point with the stun, knowing who he has to target, takes down Kite there with the stun. Huya leading the charge there. Okay, yeah, not a solo kill, just killing the Gallo, killing Tix off screen there. And even, wow, this kills non-stop here. We can't even see it. Renekton and Buddha did go down there in a trade. They did take down Kadaki. Looks like potentially a 1 versus 2 that he was involved in up there top side. So I'm going to say well played to Kadaki without knowing exactly what happened. 5,500 gold lead now as Mountain Drake does spawn here. 1 Drake already to VIVO KEYD. And with that advantage they've had, although, hey, Ebro Gaming, 12-12 the kill score. They've certainly been going blow for blow. And now Kite could be caught here. Here's center to the top. No Featherstorm, but flash in the middle for Kite. They're trying to peel back for the Xayah, and they can. 0-8's going to go down here, and now the follow-through. Big Encore is going to find 4, though, and Mouse is there with the damage. That's going to be the turn coming through. 1 more auto Damashi Justice is going to find the Xayah, and the ace comes through. Huya once again with the aggression on the Garen. I love to see it. Down goes the mid lane inner turret, and VIVO KEYD win the fight. Got 1 minion left, should be enough to take down this inhibitor, and they do so. Mouse guy gotta be careful here. The recalls, I think, yep. Buddha's not even gonna path that way, but here we see the turn, so it looks really, really good, right? The problem is Kite still has the flash, and the peel is huge there. Look at this. You don't often see this from the Renekton, but he adjusts the peel expertly. The problem, they all funnel right into the encore. Shaka is on point with that one, and then the turn is there. We see Mouse God just coming in so huge with the damage. Aurelion Soul damage, it always surprises you. You never think, you think, well, the stars don't do too much, but it can stack up so quickly, especially in the hands of a really, really skilled player like Mouse God, and they're able to just win these team fights continually. All eyes on Shaka to hit another big encore. It's coming off cooldown right now. Can they set it up? Looking for it. Huya on the backside. The Drake does go down. It goes over to 0-8 and VIVO. There's the encore finding 2. They're trying to peel back. Kodaki is trying to stay alive, but the stun is there in the back line. This time, Renekton and Rakan going aggressively. Mouse God looking for more. Finds the stun there onto Tix. Might be able to do this one. If he has a couple more stars, the taunt's not going to be there, but Mouse God may be caught out here. The hero, excuse me, the dramatic entrance is going to take him down. Jastly, though, the last one standing. Huya and Mouse God standing tall in what looked like a disjointed and even fight in the end. Huya stands tall for VIVO KEYD. Oh, gotta be careful with that redemption. Mouse God will dodge it just fine. And Jastly, the last one standing. It looked good. Shaka did not get the big encore. He and Todaki were under major pressure there, as now we do have Easy and Jastly looking for more. They find the Cataclysm on a Mouse God, but Huya is running interference here, and they just cannot take down the Dragon. Aurelion Soul still going strong. Now 2v4, though. This is an overstep for sure. Huya is very tanky. Actually still finds a kill. Did he just walk out? All right, that's absolutely absurd. Okay. I mean, it was an overstep for Mouse God, but Huya just does not care at all. That is insanity. VIVO KEYD now 10,000 gold up. Absolutely making a mark all over the lowest bracket every single one of their games here. And here we're seeing this team fight. So it looked pretty bad. This time, diving. They'd say, we don't care about healing for KEYD. And you can see KEYD goes in with the Feather Storm. Does get some nice feathers there, but in the end, he is just going to die pretty quickly. Yeah, they get on him. But if you look, and we're looking here at the bottom side of our screen, it is a nice dive there by Buddha and Rashly. They're able to, or Jastly, excuse me, they're able to pick up the kill onto the bot lane of VIVO KEYD. So it looks good. The problem is that then you wind up with Buddha and Jastly against Huya and Mouse God, and that is just outmatched. As here we have a massive fight. Encore. I didn't even see who got the Baron coming through, as now KEYD is going to be taken down here by the Stars. It looked like potentially a decent setup, but Jastly going to be chasing down here. Demacia and Justice is there. Huya picking that one up. Buddha made it out, but nobody else did, and even a Rift Herald pushing here in the top side. This may just be game. Yeah, 15 seconds. This should be it. Baron buff did go over to VIVO KEYD. That's who got the Baron. Buddha, what can he do? He shouts out with the emotes. He does a dance. But unfortunately, the ace does come through. Unfortunately for VIVO KEYD, they're victorious for the third time in the lower bracket. And they're headed to the final round of the lower bracket. As we can see in our post-game chat here, lobby, MVP to Mouse God, very understandably. I mean, that was just an insane performance, and he did rack up a couple of deaths, but it was always a trade. I think I have never seen an Aurelion Soul like that. Maybe somebody else has, but I've never seen the Aurelion Soul played that aggressively to such great effect. It wasn't the perfect game, but it was a good game from VIVO KEYD. And Huya as well, shout out. Early on, things looked just a little bit shaky. We had that early catch out onto 0-8 and Mouse God by EZ. They were caught out just overextending to get ticks in the mid lane, but in the end, it didn't actually matter. They didn't take their foot on the gas, and I think I described it initially as maybe VIVO KEYD were frustrated that they lost that first skirmish or two, so that's why they're going so aggressively, but it's hard to say. It was a smart play, though, because you always want to, what you don't want to do is when you get in this hole early on, I mean, they were really with their laning and their CSing, they weren't in like a huge gold deficit. But morale wise, if you have a couple of deaths, it can start to think, okay, we're on the back foot a little bit here. You don't want to take your foot off the gas, and the damage, wow, there are no words. Mouse God is absolutely insane. I think probably should be on Team Lightning Dragons because he has mastered the dragon so superbly. Mouse God with 35,000 damage is just absolutely disgusting. I've looked at that number like 12 times now. I cannot believe that. Excellent performance by him. But I mean, I really do want to shout out the whole VIVO KEYD. I mean, obviously, Mouse God justifiably the MVP here, has all the gold, has all the damage, has so many kills. But they played these team fights really, really effectively. And Huya was getting the damage down on the Garen, running interference, surviving for so long, and playing so aggressively. I mean, you saw 9 kills in the Garen. Almost all those were cleanup kills that if Huya didn't dive under tier 2 or tier 3 turrets looking for the Demacia and Justice to execute, they wouldn't have those kills. And that's something you need, because when you get these fights, it's something that VIVO KEYD has shown the awareness of, is if we have an even fight or even a fight that we won a little bit, we want to get a little bit more. We get the win, we want a little bit more. If it's even, then we want a little bit more to make sure they're always coming out on top of these fights anytime they can. And they absolutely do it. So you can see VIVO KEYD journeying all the way through the bracket. So excuse me, not actually the final round of the losers. They're going to be moving on to face King of Kings, I believe, there in loser round 4. But yeah, a superb performance by VIVO KEYD, certainly making a big impression. We'll jump back to our caster's desk here. So we'll wait and see what our next matchup of the day is going to be. I think we'll still have 1 or 2 more games here. We'll see. But that will do it after that. So as I said, we still have 1 or 2 more games, so don't go anywhere. But just a reminder that next weekend we will have the Latin America North finals. So we'll go through with, I believe, the round 5 matchups here of the lower brackets and the semifinals and finals of, or but yeah, the final matches of the upper brackets and then the grand finals of the entire tournament. There'll be updates there. Stay tuned on the Discord. Check out the MGA Twitter. They'll have updates there on the schedule. But our next match, we are once again going to be watching VIVO KEYD. I really like this. We get a chance to kind of track this team throughout the tournament and kind of see what they have to offer and learn more and more about this team. And a lot of it has been playing similar comps. We've seen this comp. They like to play with the Kai'Sa Seraphine, the KDA lane as I call it. They like to have 0-8 on the Wukong come through there. Mouse God on the Aurelion Sol. I think the Ziggs would probably work too, but the Aurelion Sol, after the last game, it's hard to say that anything other than Aurelion Sol should be played unless it's banned, like it was in the round 2 matchup, and hence why they went with the Ziggs, which is such a powerful pick in the meta right now, so it makes a lot of sense. Mouse God Ziggs was good. But King of Kings versus VIVO KEYD, losers bracket round 4. That will be our next game. We'll be headed to a brief break here. Don't go anywhere there, so stay tuned, excuse me. King of Kings versus VIVO KEYD when we return. Hey everybody, I just want to jump back here for a brief second. Apologize for the delays here. So there's been some events going on with the bracket, as you may have heard, maybe not. I don't know why you would have heard actually. So VIVO KEYD are winning by default over King of Kings. So VIVO KEYD have actually moved on to the finals of the bracket here. We are currently waiting to watch Furious Gaming, who are on the other side of the lower bracket here. Furious Gaming is going to face off against either Los Grandes or SS Esports, who are currently in game as we speak. The winner of that game will move on and face off against Furious Gaming. The winner of whoever, either of those two versus Furious Gaming, will then face VIVO KEYD in the lower bracket finals, which I believe will be next weekend. So wanted to give everyone an update on that. I believe we will jump back to a break here once again, but I just wanted to throw that message out there to clear up any confusion here. Furious Gaming versus either Los Grandes or SS Esports will be our next match. We'll be back then. Oh, I'm just getting, before we head off to a break, I'm getting confirmation right now from our producer, thank you, Anihi, that Los Grandes are the victors in that match. They have triumphed, so it will be Furious Gaming versus Los Grandes. We will go to a break, but that will be our match when we return. Don't go anywhere. Maybe. Apologies, I'm having some technical difficulties here. Okay, well, you know what? Because my OBS is being a little bit odd, I think we'll just stick on the caster desk for a little bit until I can fix that. So, Furious Gaming versus Los Grandes, which is pretty cool. We've already gotten a chance to see Los Grandes triumph in one game earlier on the day. It was a pretty cool matchup, and we've seen, again, I always like to dive into some of the meta that starts to develop and that we've seen throughout the games today. A lot of it dictated, of course, by VIVO KEYD, who we've seen in many games, and who, of course, we have seen win many games. And a lot of what seems to be working really well for me is something that has been very effective throughout the tournament, which has been Seraphine and building comps around the Seraphine. Now, we've seen some of these big high-impact team fight comps with a lot of AoE be very effective, in particular against some of these champions that might struggle. Here we go, my OBS is back. And we've changed back. Well, let's jump back to my desk for a second here. I finished my point. So the Seraphine can be flexed either mid or support, which is always nice because you can kind of move that around based on the mid lane matchup. But honestly, most of these games have not been about the mid lane matchup too much. They've mostly been about just freeing the mid laners to go off and affect the side lanes, and especially fighting over these Drakes. The Drakes have been the biggest focus for these teams. That's been a lot of fun to watch. And of course, viewers, I think by this point have probably realized that waiting to see when the next Drake is a good signal of when the next fight is going to be. And I think Seraphine is so effective in a lot of those because right around the Drake and the Baron Pit as well, there's these corridors where the Encore from Seraphine becomes much easier to hit. So how do you set up the Seraphine? Well, you need something that will lock down enemies and can frontline for her. Something that will set up the Encore, somebody that can dive forward. We've seen it even work with a Fiora. Fiora not traditionally thought of as a team fighter, but a Fiora can dive forward if the person can outplay, as Huya did, we saw. That facilitates the Encore because it further increases the range to the point that we saw an Encore snipe a Ziggs all the way from like Krugs to inside the Baron Pit, basically, with how insane that was. So I'm curious to see what kind of impact Seraphine and some of the champions around that will have in our upcoming game. But I'm going to send us to a quick break here. We will be back with Furious Gaming versus Los Grandes in just a moment. See you then. Welcome back, everyone, to our English broadcast coverage here of the MGA Wild Rift Copa America. We are just mere moments away from heading into draft for our upcoming match, which is one of the two semifinals of the lower bracket. We already saw the first one. Well, we didn't see it, actually. We learned that VIVO KEYD triumphed over King of Kings in a default there, so they're waiting in the lower bracket finals. But the match we're going to watch right now, Furious Gaming versus Las Grandes Esports. We are going to be seeing the draft in just a moment. We've already got some bans coming through. Braum, Galio, Camille, and Wukong all banned away. Again, a lot of champions we've seen repeatedly banned, and if not banned, generally speaking, picked. So as we await to get into the draft, as soon as that is up, the question is going to become, which picks are going to turn up now that we have some of these big high-impact team comps taken away? Galio, Jarvan, Galio, Camille is something we see a lot. Even Galio combined with something like a Ziggs. Well, that's the first pick I want to talk about, is the Ziggs. Ziggs has been so good in the meta for quite a while here, some weeks now, even longer. It's something we've seen have a lot of success in this tournament whenever it's not banned. Ziggs, I think, and Seraphine as well, both long range, both very good in these team fights, both very good when we have these big wombo combos. But here we go. We're going to be hitting into draft here, and we'll have to see which of these teams do want to lock in. I'm expecting either the Ziggs or the Seraphine. I wouldn't be surprised to see the Lucian turn up early. I know Lucian has not made a great impression today, but if you go back and watch the VODs here on the MGA YouTube or at twitch.tv/Vestborger from the previous weekend, those are there, and Lucian was really, really strong. He just has to have those early advantages, and it becomes impossible to play against him. But when he's set behind, it's really, really bad news. And there's the Ziggs. No surprise coming through a first pick here for Furious Gaming. I wonder if the Seraphine is the answer here. We do see the Lucian hovered, which I talked about. And the Renekton, blind Renekton here for Las Grandes. Now that is interesting. Not necessarily something I would have expected, but cool to see. I mean, I think Renekton certainly can be effective. I've talked about that. He hasn't been showing up too much, but he is a pretty high tier top laner still in the meta right now. So Gragas, Jarvan coming through. So I do like the Jarvan Ziggs combo. We've talked about what you can pair with the Galio, some of these big giant circle AoE abilities that you can stack on top of each other that can have such a big impact. Jarvan Ziggs is nice. The one downside is, again, the Gragas. This is something we'll have to see. Pada 99, we saw him on the Fiora. Now, earlier in the day, we saw Huya. He piloted the Fiora, then he piloted the Gragas. Amazing in both. Now, we saw Pada 99, Fiora, looks solid, and now piloting the Gragas. We assume there's the opportunity for the flex. Gragas support could come through, and actually, looks like that just may be what we're seeing as the Ezreal and the Akali locked in. Looks like Pada 99 will be piloting the Akali top, presumably, unless there's some very wacky flexes coming in. But the Ahri, Lee Sin, and Nami coming through. I am absolutely shocked that we see Seraphine making it entirely through this pick ban phase. I think that's a massive surprise. She's had so much success. She's constantly pick banned throughout the entire tournament, even in both divisions, Latin America North and North America, and Latin America South and Brazil. Seraphine has been showing up so often. It's just, it's very surprising to see her get through. But hey, enough about Seraphine. She's gone. We don't care about her right now. We're looking at a Lucian Nami bot lane. Now, this is something I do really like. Something I used to really like in PC League as well. The Lucian Nami combination is good. Jhin Nami used to be something you could do a lot too, because these are champions that like to chase down. They like to go in aggressively for a trade and kind of determine how long they want the trade to go. That's what Nami lets you do, because Nami, she's going to heal you. She's going to damage your opponent. She's going to let you slow the opponent, and she can even set things up with a bubble. Once the opponent is slowed, it's much easier to land the bubble as well. But here we are, we're loading into the Rift for our last game of the day. Furious Gaming versus Las Grandes, fighting over the right to head to the lower bracket finals and face off against, my brain is failing me right now, face off against VIVO KEYD. VIVO KEYD waiting for the winner of this match. We'll have to see. Only one can make it out. Showmaker piloting the Ziggs this time around. Striker, no Rengar, going for the Jarvan. I'll have to see how that Jarvan Ziggs combo can go. And I'm just certainly curious with the Gragas, something I was hinting at that I think I got sidetracked there. The Gragas has the ability to set up fights really well. Also has the ability to disrupt fights for either team. So that's kind of the fear is, will the Gragas cask mess up your setup there? You can knock people out of the Jarvan Cataclysm. So you have to be careful what you're doing there. So wait and see. It is the Gragas support. Of course, as I mentioned, going for Mist here. And Libra with the blind Renekton is answered by the Akali last pick by Pada99. So the question is, how effective is the Akali going to be into the Renekton here? I can see it working pretty well. Something that annoys Renekton a lot is when champions move around too much or are untargetable, such as in the Akali Shroud. That can be really annoying. Renekton, he does have some AoE, but unfortunately it's not always going to be enough. It's often more for sustain as well. But the problem is in these very, very early levels, Akali just does not have her whole kit unlocked. It becomes problematic for the Akali to contest the CS, as you can see right there, as long as Renekton playing well, which Libra certainly is at this point. Charm is going to connect there. They'll look for more damage to the Showmaker. He does have the Resonating Strike available. I thought he did. Maybe it got blocked. I didn't see exactly, or just didn't take it, but... Oh, no, he didn't. Yeah, that was, sorry, my mistake. I mistook the Sonic Wave indicator as actually his slow indicator. The Showmaker does take a little bit of damage here. Yeah, we'll get a second closer look here. So, Sonic Wave, it's a really nice charm. The Sonic Wave is blocked there by Striker, so I don't know how intentional that was on Striker's part, but ultimately really well played. They still get the flash. And here we go. Actually, we have a first blood on the bot side. Fusion goes down. E-Buddy's slain as well. So both AD carries slain in the bot side as we have a gank here top side. Pada99 just going to walk away from that one. So the support off. Supportal combat commences. And Maxeed will be fine there. He's just going to back away. So E-Buddy and Fusion both falling there. First blood and actually kill credit going to the supports as well. So... sad day to be an AD carry. No gold going their way, unfortunately. But both supports picking up those kills. And some summoners burn. So Fusion actually did not burn the flash. As here we go. There's the flash Dragon's Reach kick. And Showmaker is going to be in a lot of trouble here. He's going to go down. Kill credit going over to pressure there on the Akali. Las Grandes striking first here. 2-1 their kill score already. A nice replay here. Flash kick. Nicely done. Hits the Sonic Wave perfectly onto that. Two-shot barrage. Not going to find anybody this time. Fusion. Uh-oh. The bubble's going to connect onto Mist, who could be in a lot of trouble here. That's a nice wave. Going to interrupt the Gragas. Relentless Pursuit coming out. Fusion's going to back away, dodge the charm and the Sonic Wave there, but nicely played by Las Grandes to pick up another kill. This time on the board is E-Buddy happy, and the Lucian to be getting some extra gold there. And now, turn Mega Inferno Bomb is going to take down Maxeed. Cataclysm is going to find two. There is the piercing light coming through. E-Buddy going to pursuit out of the Cataclysm. And that is going to be one traded back there. So we see here a nice bubble. And watch this wave there. Perfectly slowing, interrupting Mist. No escape there. Making sure that E-Buddy can pick up that kill. Well played there by the bot lane duo of Las Grandes. Gold dead even though right now, as we see Libra trading aggressively. There's that real abusive Renekton trading pattern. Slice and dice in. Ruthless Predator going to stun him up. And then you just dive right back out. No opportunity for a return trade. Cloud Drake has spawned. Wait and see which team is going to focus there. A lot of vision control for both teams in each other's blue and red side jungles on the bot side respectively. Oh. Did EKZO get that? Okay, he did, yeah. Nice try there by Pada99. And here we have on the bot side Striker trying to trade. And he could be in a lot of trouble here. He went for the Drake trade, but he winds up dying. Pressure picks that one up. Actually, it was Maxine who picked it up. Another dive. Sonic Wave connects. Pada99. Perfect execution will get him out. So he'll be okay for the time being. Showmaker, meanwhile, dies. 2v1 here in the mid lane. And, oh, Mist looking for maybe a flash body slam that was just mix executed there. Unfortunately, not able to find anything, but the other side of the map, Furious Gaming are, and actually, yeah, I'm realizing now, I think we do have our logos backwards. It is Furious Gaming that are in control right now with a 2K gold lead and 5 kills. Pressure picking up his second kill of the game there on the Ari, and Showmaker having a rough time in the Ziggs here. 1 and 2. There's Mega Inferno Bomb. E-Buddy is going to fall. True Shot Barrage is true this time. Charm there onto the Jarvan, though, is going to return 1 kill, 1 for 1 for the time being. Both teams going to peel back, and with Striker dead, this Drake could be risky. Always got to be careful to Lee Sin. Echo always with the opportunity to dive in there and look for a steal. Yeah, so Cataclysm, it's not perfect, but it's good enough there to lock down E-Buddy. Two-shot barrage and Mega Inferno Bomb. The artillery, as I like to call those kind of combinations, over the top is enough to take down the Lucian. So nice little play there by Las Grandes. Furious Gaming, though, get one back to take down Striker. Now Striker is back. Furious looking to start off this Drake, but they got to be careful with all 5 members alive for both teams. No summoners on E-Buddy, though. Again, you got to be careful. As soon as that Cataclysm comes up, it's a little ways away. Mega Inferno Bomb is closer. Both teams scuffling still over this Drake. So the question is, who is going to get it? Redemption's going to come through. Cask, Echo, rather. There's the charm onto the Akali, though. That could be big trouble. And down goes the Akali. Maxine again in the Nami making the kills. Echo's going to come in. Does have the Drake. Flashes away. Barely dodges out and misses damage. The culling doesn't find too many shots, but it is enough. The cleanup is there from Pressure and Libra, and that is Furious Gaming finding 3 and the Drake. Big win for them. And it looks like Furious will pick up this bot lane turret as well. First turret of the game. Furious in a nice position here. So the Cask looks nice. It knocks Echo in, but he's able to just use the safeguard to dive back, or jump back rather, to the rest of his team. Again, the body slam. Again, they keep finding this Lee Sin, but he's just too slippery. So at the end of the day, it is Furious Gaming once again winning out in a skirmish here. They're now 5,000 gold up. Maxine, the hard carry in the Nami, 3, 1, and 5 here. Certainly, I mean, you want that gold on others, but some of it's going over to Pressure, and Furious Gaming, I think, happy with the gold lead regardless. You could quibble with who exactly the gold lead is on, but Maxine has been on point with the Nami plays, so hey, deserves some gold. Charm is going to connect there on Diffusion, and the kick is going to finish him off. Ezreal goes down here. Mist just trying to clear out these waves. Got to be a little bit careful, but I think he'll be fine. Looking for some Rift Herald control in the meantime, perhaps. As, yep, Rift Herald was summoned, actually, mid lane there. Going to get a little bit of damage onto the turret, but not going to be enough to crack it, take it down. Infernal will be our next Drake of the game. Furious Gaming up about 6k right now. Feeling pretty good. Bubble is going to be dodged out there, but Mist taking a lot of damage. Mega Inferno Bomb is going to poke him out. Maxine trying to heal him up. Here comes Striker. 2-man Cataclysm. There's the Cask. It knocks him into the sides of the Cataclysm. Perfect. And then we do have, unfortunately, E-Buddy with no way out. He's going to fall. 3 kills now. Striking back our Las Grandes. Charm is nice on Diffusion. Got to be careful of that. Las Grandes are going to recoup some of that gold lead. Maybe look to crack some turrets with Showmaker's Ziggs. Libra looking for the Ziggs. Is going to dive back out, taking a lot of damage. Ruthless Predator, I think, onto a minion there. I didn't see. That is going to fall. And this time, Pressure does take down Fusion's Ezreal. And actually, Striker's got to be careful. He's got the GA, but if he's under a turret, it could be bad news. So Pressure playing very well in the Ahri right now. As we see Mist does flash away. The Mega Inferno Bomb poke is really good. And that just helps Las Grandes set this one up. You see the Cask knocks him into the terrain there. I was worried there's the opportunity for it to knock him out of the Cataclysm, but in the end, it does not. As long as it's placed well there, and Mist certainly was. Facilitates a couple of kills there. Of course, Pressure and Furious Gaming do strike back with the kill on the Fusion at the end there. Two-shot barrage finds only the Ahri. He's going to heal up there with the help of the passive. And Maxine, of course. 30 seconds away from Baron spawning, and Furious Gaming with a 4,000 gold lead. A lot of control. Pressure. Got to be careful of those charms. He's been on point with those to this point in the game. A lot of poke damage coming through. Got to be careful of that with this Ziggs Ezreal. Going to scale very effectively the later we get in the game. Gromp tanks the charm there. Baron on the table in Infernal Drake in 20 seconds, so I'm curious if we will see any kind of objective trading. Las Grandes look like they do have the inside track to this Drake. They pick up the Scuttle. Smart play by them there as well. And Echo just kind of hanging out here. Looks like he is going to reset, so I don't know if Las Grandes know this, that they do have the right to just start up this Drake right away. Looks like they won't, and Echo is on the way, so maybe a smart play. Home guard Lee Sin sprinting towards that objective and is going to be there in time to make sure they can contest it. Both teams, though, have their eyes on that Infernal. Actually going to be started up by Maxi, perhaps unintentionally. Both teams looking for that setup. Watch the Cataclysm. Watch the Mega Infernal Bomb. That is the big setup. Two-shot barrage over the top, potentially. There's the Charm on the Mist. Diving in. There's the Wave. Going to find only Showmaker. Pressure diving in once again. Spirit Rush back out. Both teams not sure what they want to do. The Mega Infernal Bomb goes wide. That is a whiff. Redemption is going to heal up Furious Gaming, so they're feeling pretty good with one of those cooldowns burned. Pressure look for the Charm. He's found the Akali. Product could be in trouble right now. The cast is big. Going to knock one back, and now Keo in the backside looking for Product 99. Meanwhile, the GA is popped by Striker. Furious Gaming in a good position in this one, but both teams hiding back with some blinking health bars. In the end, though, Furious Gaming are the ones with control. They should have this Drake. The Striker looking to steal. Charm going to come through. Striker trying to find it, but it is Echo picking up the kill on the Drake there. And Fusion is flashed right into the members. The flank is there from Libra and E-Buddy. Disaster for Los Grandes, and Furious Gaming pick up the ace. They lose only their jungler, and they get the Drake to boot. Excellent team fighting there from Furious Gaming. Things look difficult, but the Mega Inferno Bomb whipping and a nice flank coming through from the top laner AD carry of Furious Gaming are enough to turn the fight. The Redemption going to heal them up. They get one turret. They should get two here as well. That's really going to balloon that gold advantage just shy of 10,000 now for Furious Gaming. Excellent. We get a replay here. So the bubble lands, the Charm lands on the Mist. This is just the early stages of the fight, but the thing is, we see some cooldowns thrown out, the wave thrown out, tidal wave, and then the Mega Inferno Bomb comes out here in just a second. It's not going to find anybody, and that's a big cooldown gone. The Cataclysm is still available. What you want to do, you want Striker to lock him down. You want that bomb over the top, and they don't get it. The Charm on the Akali is big. They start separating. The Cask finds only the Lucian there for Mist, so they isolate the Akali. Striker goes in by himself. There's nothing over the top. The two-shot barrage is a little bit late. We don't see the back end of that, but I mean, you can see where it goes from there with a lot of these big cooldowns whiffing from Los Grandes. They're very, very ultimate dependent here. Champions like Lee Sin can really dive in and out Libra as well, and that can make it so difficult for the execution side for Los Grandes because they want to lock people down, make sure they get hit with those ultimates when the Mega Inferno Bomb whiff, when the two-shot barrage doesn't find anybody, when the Cataclysm doesn't find anybody except Striker getting himself killed. That's when things go wrong, as things go downhill very, very fast for Los Grandes. Ocean Drake, Bill, next Drake of the game. As we have a bit of a lull state in the map for what I imagine is just a short time. As is typical in Wild Rift, of course, both these teams very willing to fight at every opportunity. 4-to-1 turret advantage is really nice for setting up any kind of objectives now for Furious Gaming, let alone the large gold advantage they have accumulated. Libra, I think, should win this over Pot 99. I think they just don't know where the jungler. They see a Striker on the top side now. Yeah, Pot 99 left. I'm not sure how to... Oh, and the Charm! Down goes Fusion. Striker should just back away here. And in an instant, Fusion is caught once again. These Charms have been on point from pressure, continually catching out the Ezreal, who can be slippery with the Arcane Shift, but with that pick, looks like that'll be the Baron. And yeah, we see Charm coming through, whole combo is there. Echo is even there to help clean things up. And meanwhile, Striker now has found himself. I assume that was a Charm catching him out, but 1v4, maybe sniffed out the Baron and was trying to go in. And with the jungler dead and Fusion still dead for 5 seconds, should be a Baron, no problem. Two-shot barrage and Mega Inferno Bomb available. We'll see if two-shot barrage comes now. Just with the respawn, I think, yeah, here it is coming on the map here. I don't think it's going to find anybody. Yep. Unfortunately, no. It was a nice try there by Showmaker and the Fusion, but not going to get the steal. And Furious Gaming now, 10,000 gold up still. They have a Baron buff. They've already taken 4 towers, looking for more. 4 turrets, rather. 1 tower was taken on the bot side there. Nicely played by Pot 99 to at least get something on the back end of that, but overall, it is Furious Gaming in firm control of this one. See what they can do. 5 seconds away from an Ocean Drake spawning. Furious Gaming, if they push out some of these waves, it's going to make it very difficult for Los Grandes to contest. Echo taking a lot of damage there. 599 and Miss dishing out the pain onto the Lee Sin. The Redemption should heal him up, though, and Max Seed keep everyone topped off. Cash just looking for a cheeky steal there is Miss. Not going to find it. Echo has been on point with the... Oh, with the smites, and now should smite down Pot 99. No, the flash is going to get him away, but pressure dives very, very deep. Maybe too far now under turret. Yes, the Ari finally is punished for some very aggressive plays, and now the wave, tidal wave comes through from Max Seed. There's the Mega Inferno Bomb, but the 2-lane siege is strong here for Furious Gaming. They get the 1-for-1 mid laner for top laner, but they still get that inhibitor turret. And now looking for the top lane turret as well. And Miss looking for the body slam, but the siege is just so powerful right now. The team that wants to be sieging is Los Grandes with the Ziggs and the Ezreal. That's exactly what you want to be doing, but they've been on the back foot almost since the get-go in this game. Pot 99, he goes golden. I thought he was out. He has a nice flash immediately, but the Spirit Rush Prusher is able to get that kill. Burns everything and loses his life in the process. But the biggest thing he does, he draws everyone's attention there bot side. They managed to pick up that mid lane inhibitor. They even get the top lane inhibitor to boot. That's so much pressure. Now it is gold. With the super minions coming down, that is a lot of gold that's going to go into the pockets of Los Grandes. But generally speaking, you know, it isn't so much that people will say, oh, don't take the inhibitor here. You take 2 inhibs and you have this much of an advantage. You take that every time. Sure, it's a little bit of gold coursing into the pockets of Los Grandes, but it's not going to be nearly enough to make a dent in this 14,000 gold lead. Now, full control of the map for Furious Gaming. All of Los Grandes is going to be stuck in their base 9 times out of 10. And now, though, Echo could be in trouble. Pressure here for reinforcements. Oh, man. Echo with the stopwatch. It's going to go golden and not even burn the Guardian Angel. Feels bad for Los Grandes. So we see it's actually Echo that engaged this. Misses the Sonic Wave, so things look good, but buying just enough time is Echo and Prusher. I love it when I see that the communication say, hey, I'm fighting a Kali, get over here, and Prusher is there. 8-1-9 on the Ari, has been on point with the charms, has been on point with these fights, with the aggression, pushing the champ to its limits. You love to see it there from Prusher and the rest of Furious Gaming. Actually, Libra is deathless. I don't think I even realized that, but Guardian Angel probably going to stay that way. A pair of Guardian Angels, in fact, setting up a Fnatic brush here, knowing that the Baron spawning. And Los Grandes, I mean, you question whether they can contest this. I think they probably can't, but with 2 inhibitors down, if they don't, I mean, it's probably just death. But yeah, I think wisely Los Grandes knowing, yeah. You've got stuff like a True Shot Barrage, like a Mega Inferno Bomb. Oh no, the Charm finds Fusion once again. Okay, he'll get back out. Gotta be careful though. I mean, yeah, Los Grandes, I mean, they're kind of poking their heads in here, but they just cannot afford to check this. And Furious Gaming are just playing games with them. They're gonna find Striker with a tidal wave trying to proc that Guardian Angel. He actually survives. At least as far as I saw. And now the backside of that, unfortunately, it's not enough there for the Akali. Pot 99 is going to go down. Looking for some of the executes with the help of the Mega Inferno Bomb, but it's not enough. So Striker, yes, he did keep his Guardian Angel. It was like 1 HP, but now with the Akali dead, with everyone forced back, and even Libra drawing the aggro here. So yeah, we got a good chance to watch this because it's a bit of a disjointed fight. We do see Pot 99 dive in 1v5 here, 1v4 rather, with the Renekton on the bot side. Going golden is E-Buddy, and he tries to find the damage. It's close, but it's not enough, unfortunately. He needs the extra setup there. He needs them to get him poked down a little bit more. If Fusion can get him poked down, if Showmaker can get him poked down. But just alone, he's not able to 1v4 there, unfortunately, for Pot 99. And for Los Grandes fans, Furious Gaming is still up 14,000. Charm dodged out from with the body slam, but Miss could still be in trouble. Flash away. Pressure is relentless here. The cask is going to keep him safe, but now, oh man, Fusion is just taken down by E-Buddy there. The Cataclysm, unfortunately, I think the one locked in this time is Striker. He goes down. 3 members of Los Grandes, or rather 2 members, but the Nexus should go down here. There's no chance for a defense. It is Furious Gaming picking up the win over Los Grandes. They are headed to face off against VIVO, KEYD, in the losers bracket finals. We get a chance to watch some of the last moments of the game here. Just look at how relentless Pressure is. He doesn't even land the charm. He knows he has the damage. He doesn't care. And he sets it up for eBuddy to jump in on the back end of that and take down Fusion. 80 carry versus 80 carry. That's what I'm talking about. I talked about it in the previous game. Lucian 1v1 against Ezreal with this kind of advantage. There's just no chance. Ezreal has to be poking. And the Fusion just did not get the opportunity here. Pressure playing so aggressively. Furious Gaming playing so aggressively did not let the Ezreal get that damage down. They would just push the go button, Echo, and Pressure on the front end of most of those fights, setting things up. Pressure getting the MVP, I think, very, very justified. Barely missed the charm, and even when he did, a lot of times, I think if it was me piloting the Ahri, it's a case of, oh, I missed the charm. Well, I'm going to go in anyway because I'm so mad that I messed up. I have to pick up the kill there. I have to go for it. But Pressure, he would hit almost every charm, and when he didn't, he knew the limits he could test there. He knew he could go in, and he could pick up the kill. Pressure, I think, really setting the pace of the game along with Echo. And shout out to the whole of Furious Gaming, of course. Playing very, very, very well throughout. And wow. Again, you know, I was shocked by the Aurelion soul damage. I'm shocked by Pressure's damage on the Ahri there. That is unreal. 36.6 thousand damage there from Pressure. That is absolute insanity. I mean, a phenomenal performance there. And not having seen all of Furious Gaming's matches, it's hard to know if, like Mouse God there for VIVO KEYD, he has been the hard carry every single game. With those kind of numbers, though, you have to think he's had some excellent performances to get Furious Gaming to this point in the tournament. You can see the gold lead on your screens there. Pretty much a clean game. I mean, I think Los Grandes had some nice fights. You can see a little bit of plateauing at some points in those. I think Los Grandes had did a decent job of trying to fight back in the game. But overall, Furious Gaming was in full control of the game pretty much from start to finish on the back of some excellent team fights. And I did just want to do a quick shout out. We'll jump back to our caster desk here, but I really loved one thing that I saw from Furious Gaming was the setup around the Baron. This was huge because they would just continually dance around the Baron. You saw how many times they just continually set up what I call the Fnatic bush, where they would just sit in the bush looking for a pick, and they were patient too. It didn't work the first time, didn't work the second time, it worked the third time. Third time's the charm. They found the pick onto Striker, and they say, Striker, Jarvan is dead, no smite, no jungler for Los Grandes. Furious Gaming, that means that's their cue to finally start the Baron for real, and they take it down quick. But they wait it out. They get the True Shot Barrage out. They get the Ziggs Mega Inferno Bomb out. That's perfect because those are those key ultimates. The only way Los Grandes wins a fight is if those ultimates find just about everyone on Furious Gaming. And while they did once or twice early on, for the most part, they were dodged out so well. And Maxeed kept everyone topped off. Redemption with the Nami heals made sure that if one of those ultimate abilities from the Ezreal the Ziggs comes through and pokes somebody down, they just wait it out. They heal back up, and then they're fine. They're golden. They wait out those cooldowns. They wait in the bush. Finally, they get Striker. That's the Baron, which is the final nail in the coffin of Los Grandes. So Furious Gaming will be facing off against VIVO KEYD, who very impressively made their way all the way from round 1 of the lower bracket here, all the way to round 5. They will be facing off against Furious Gaming, but that's next weekend. We'll have the finals of the lower and upper brackets and the grand finals of both our Latin America South and Brazil division that you saw today, and the North America and Latin America North division next time. So make sure to tune in next weekend, Saturday and Sunday at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern time. We'll be back with more action. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. Shout out to all the organizers and staff, Callie, and the rest of the guys at MGA setting this one up. And Anihi, our producer, giving us the feed here and all the action, the replays, everything was beautiful. Thank you so much to everyone tuning in and all the teams and players for putting on an excellent show today. I've been Vesper providing commentary for the games today. I'll be joined by Moose, who you saw yesterday. He'll be back once again, I believe, on Saturday. Next weekend, we'll be back with the semifinals and the grand finals of our tournament. $2,500 on the line. MGA Wild Rift Copa America will be back next weekend, so do not miss it. But in the meantime, I'll be signing off. Thanks so much, guys. We'll see you next weekend.